very warm welcome and good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being so punctual. And my name is Vincent Ng. I'm here to just give you a quick run through of the proceedings before I pass over to Yayasan. So this is a 4.5-hour training session. Very important topic to be conducted by Mr. Yayasan Krishnan. Right? And the title is Critical Thinking in Contract Management in the Construction Industry. I understand that participants in this room today are very experienced professionals working in different parts of the construction industry. So I can expect there will be a lively discussion from everyone. Please do share your views, your opinions during the course of the session. I believe you'll also be told that this session, this course is also doubling up as a live assessment for Yayasan. He's ongoing through international certified professional trainers course, and this life assessment is part of that process. So because of that, we have our master trainer and assessor who's going to be joining us, Shirley down at the back there, who will be sitting through the entire process today. In addition, we are also doing a video recording, of which I think all of you sign a consent. The purpose of the video is for Yayasan later to submit to the HID Corp to be accredited as a trainer. So I hope you understand the purpose of that and appreciate your cooperation. Yeah. So I think now, just for a couple of small points, I think attendance signed already, everybody. Yeah. Consent form is okay, right? Just a reminder, later during the break, we'll be passing out an evaluation form. Appreciate you can fill that out before we finish the course today, right? So just to let you know that there will be a short break, very short break, somewhere in the middle of the presentation, and then we will finish off and we're all adjourned for lunch back here, right? Yes, sir. And so that's the agenda for today. The detailed agenda I leave to Yayasan to review. And I think without further ado, I'd like to call on Mr. Ho Xiao Ki to give you the housekeeping rules.
Thank you, Vincent. Okay, my name is Ho Xiao Ki. Just like Vincent, I'm also the batchmate of Yayasan. In fact, we are both in the same industry and same discipline as well, which is the project management and contract administration. Okay, without further ado, I think let me go through those do's and don'ts during this presentation. Okay, number one, please hold your mobile phone so that or keep them as silent mode. Number two, if you really need to answer a call, you can go to the pantry, which is just through this door. Number three, kindly write your name. I believe all of you have done that. And number four, as this is about as a training, this live assessment, so there's a video recording, and you try to limit yourself to those for the discussion, only those topics related to the topics over here. Alright, if you want to speak, kindly speak loudly so that you know the recording over there, so that the audio can be recorded. On the stakes, in case of fire, there's a fire escape over there. Through the staircase, you will be down to the outside. Number 7, there is a small prayer room right at the back there. If you need to go for prayer, you can do so over there. Okay, number 8, the restroom is right on my left here. Through this door, there's a restroom over there. The pantry is right at the back. Okay, that's all for the announcement. And thank you and enjoy the seminar. Thank you.
I would like now to call on Mr. Dayaman Kamidi to say a few words on behalf of the participants.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Yayasan Krishnan, the senior of Yayasan, who has allowed us an opportunity to be exposed to a subject that we were rarely exposed. I think we have a good mixture here today, from as young as management training to those as old as, but as experienced as specialists. We have senior manager and so on of various disciplines in their work. And we all know that in the past, even throughout my career, most of the trainings that we were exposed to, such as CIE, or safety, OGSB, when you're working in the lifeguard, I've gone through my OGSB 1 and 2 advanced level, also about safety. But very, very rare that we were exposed in contract management and administration. As a result, most of our experience we saw a lot of disputes and so on. So hopefully, with this exposure, I'm never too late to learn something today and maybe next modules. And yeah, but may I say, ilmu, knowledge. Yeah, knowledge is very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Diana. And now I would like to call upon Ms. Jasmine to introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Vincent. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a really great pleasure to introduce you to our trainer this morning. Viasan is a very experienced professional. He has over 28 years in the areas of oil and gas, power generation, water supplies, property development, well, I have a tongue twister, hospital, construction, and commercial development. Oh, great 38 years of experience. He's also he's worked in various organizations in Malaysia and even abroad. Teaching and training has been his passion, and he's been doing this for, even in UTM, in project management and in terms of many other trainings, right? His true passion is really in the field of contract management. As you can see today, our topic of the day is contract management for critical thinking in contract management in the construction industry. Viasan has a double degree in civil engineering from Loughborough University, UK, Bachelor's of Law from the University of London, UK, and he's also both a registered professional engineer with practicing certificate, professional assessment examiner appointed by the Board of Engineers, a project management professional accredited by the Project Management Institute, PMI, a member of the Institute of Engineers Malaysia, a member of the Institute of Arbitrators of Malaysia, and currently he sits as the disciplinary committee panel on relation for advocates and solicitors disciplinary board. Well, all this is a mouthful, but please allow me to welcome the trainer for today, Mr. Viasan.
Thank you. Very good morning, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Vincent, Shafi, for the safety briefing and housekeeping, Yasmin for introducing me, and Leaman, thank you very much for that wonderful short speech, but very, very effective in the sense that he has actually introduced all of your being from various industries, and that is something that I really, really appreciate. Thank you very much for your turnout on a Saturday morning here, and I will make sure on behalf of my course mates here that it will not go to waste. You know, we want to see active participation. It's a two-way thing. And last but not least, I would like to thank my master trainer, Shirley Leong, who's here to actually observe me. So I hope she passes me as a result. But again, it depends on how much you interact. That's one of the things that she'll be looking at. Okay. So please, I would really encourage questions and answers, because that's how we learn. Not through ChatGPT or search engines and all that. That's only a limited part of the learning process. But most of it is through interaction. Okay, and that's where the experience comes in, where we share experience. As it's been displayed in my profile, that for me, learning is best when I do training. So every question you ask me is actually a learning process for me too. So there's never end to learning, and I hope the same it is vice versa. But my experience and knowledge, that you will learn something from here. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, this is actually part of the training objective. I just want to say to all of you at this point, that many a times, like what Jayaman said, many a times people do not see the importance of contract management simply because they feel that it is the contract manager's role. And that's where the problem lies. Because once you throw all the responsibility and accountability to one party, and contract is not only limited to contract documents, a contract document covers a whole range of documents, right? Sometimes even the invitation to bid, ITB is also incorporated into the contract, right up to the management of the warranty obligations. So the whole thing, it cannot be entrusted to one staff. That doesn't work in the real world. So every person has to play that role in making sure that the project is a success. So this is something that I want all of us to understand. The reason for failures of projects is because people take an attitude of, hey, look, that's not my job. I'm only employed as a design engineer. I'm only employed as a bidding manager, proposal manager. I only handle warranty. I come in much later in the process of the contracts or the project. So if you have this kind of silo mentality, be assured the project is doomed to fail. I'm sure we have seen experience enough, more than 500 years cumulatively, just looking at every one of us here, 500 years of experience will not go to waste, and I'm sure you will appreciate that. Once you have a silo mentality in a project environment, your company will have problems at the bottom line. That means your profit and loss will be reflected through that. The better you work together among your team, the better your relationship with the client and the consultant, you stand a very good chance for success. So, team, you can get this anywhere, team stands for together, everyone achieves more. So individually, you may have your potential, but once you start mixing and talking to people of all levels, as subcontractors, suppliers, consultants, PMC, you will learn a lot of things that, you can already preempt what risks you're going to face, etc., etc. So, always think as a team. The moment your team members, or you're a CEO, you say the moment your finance person says, it's not my job, I'm only handling accounts, or account receivables. As a CEO, you're already heading into a problem. You know that something is not right. Because everyone in your organization, in your subcontractors organization, in your subcontractors organizations, is exactly your own responsibility. So take ownership, and then hopefully that will bring success. You're already on the right path towards success. Okay, is that clear? I may be stating the obvious, but sometimes we need to be reminded from time to time. So, in order to achieve that, two things are necessary. Number one, we need to understand the scope and the contract. You must know what actually your company is engaged in. And more importantly, every single member must understand that, look, I have a part to play in the success of the contract. So do not carve out, this is my territory, that is your territory. Again, the moment you say that, you're already building silos. Silos do not work in a project or a contract environment. Okay, so everyone has a role, right down to the document controller, with due respect, to the dispatch person, to the driver, the crane operator. Every single person in the construction industry has got that responsibility and accountability. So the moment he or she is made to feel important, that's when you feel, okay, you're part of the way you said. Good morning. Please have a seat. So the outline for this morning is, I'm going to just talk about some story about somebody here called Lionel Messi. And then we're going to have a short icebreaker, because I noticed that some of you know each other, some of you are seeing each other after many, many years, and most of you are seeing you for the first time, and there will be a lot of things that you may want to know about each other sitting at the table around you too. So we're going to have a small icebreaker, and then we need to understand what are the fundamentals of contracts. Okay, as what Mr. J mentioned, okay, people do not understand contracts. And I'm glad that we have among us at least one legally trained person here on our audience. Look, it's very good. So we are going back to basics to understand what are the fundamentals of contract. And I assure you, I will not make it difficult. It will be very, very easy for you all to understand and appreciate, because by and large, they are all common sense. Okay, it's not rocket science. So be assured that we will go through this, and I will take you step by step how to understand, how to memorize it. Okay, this is not rocket science. And then sometimes we learn through mistakes, not through our mistakes, but sometimes we don't have time to do all the mistakes by ourselves. We learn through other people's mistakes. So when there are mistakes in construction, failures in construction, we see, oh, this is where they have gone wrong and what they should have done and how to prevent it from future projects. So we're just going to have a small video presentation as an activity where I request you all to observe it. It's only a 2-minute video here. It's a 2-minute video, but be very quick to see where you think things could have gone wrong, how could have been avoided, and how we prevent things going forward. So here's where we need to think critically. And talking about critical thinking, that's the topic of our presentation here. And I will be introducing you into the term critical thinking. There are no hard and fast definition of the word critical. You mean how critical is critical, right? You may ask. But it's not an exact science. It's an acquired art. And I will be going through that with you to see from situation to situation how you bring about critical thinking. Not only in this module, but also in subsequent modules later, not now, but later when we go deep dive into contract conditions. Those will be deep dive contract conditions later. But today it's important for all of us to grasp the fundamentals of contracts. And then we will go through the contract management cycle. What is contract management? Where does it start? Where does it end? Who plays what part and all that? So you need to see, oh, this is what contract management is. So you will know what is the scope of the contract management. So in your office, either in your office or in the site, you will know how you can position yourself as a non-contract manager. And then we'll go through a very quick slide, active participation of legal process on bidding. And then there will be another activity, written examination. Okay, everybody has to sit through this examination. Okay, and the papers are ready, and I prepared exactly the SPM format. Yeah? SPM format. So special blue paper. So do not open this paper until you're instructed. It is that kind of thing, and it applies to all, even my colleagues. Surely you can participate if you want. It's only 5 minutes, by the way. Only 5 minutes. So I will not show this to anybody else. I took a few nights to actually prepare this. Again, it's to cultivate the critical thoughts within you. And then we go into types of contract. This is more theoretical kind of thing, but I expect a lot of Q&A this part. And then we talk about communications. You may have attended many seminars, etc. on communications. But here you specifically focus on contract management, project management kind of communication. And then finally, we expect you all to participate in group discussion. I already preempt you with the topic. It's called cost overruns in construction projects. What are the reasons for cost overruns? So we'll come to that at the end of it. So this is basically the program outline what we have for all of you today. Any questions, please do interrupt me. Yeah? Do not hesitate to interrupt me. Right. We'll start off with this person here, the Lionel Messi story. The guy called Lionel Messi. How many of us here have not heard of Lionel Messi? Please raise your hand. So I presume all of you have heard the name Lionel Messi, correct? Yes? Yes? Yes. Okay, good. And what is he paid to do? What is he paid to do? Footballer. To play football, correct? So his contract is to play football. He's paid humongous amount of money per week to play football. Now, here's some storytelling here for you. Just a few months ago, no, sorry, before that, what club does he play for today? You all know? Club. Today. What club does he play for? American club. What's the name of American club?
Miami.
Yes, Miami. Okay, correct. Inter Miami. Shirley watches a lot. Okay, but prior to that, which club did he play for? No. No? Quite close? Okay, good.
Saudi club.
No?
PSG.
PSG is a French club. Paris Saint-Germain. Sorry for my pronunciation. Short form is PSG. Right. When he was playing for PSG, this happened just a few months ago, on 30th of April. His team, PSG, played a League One match, first division match, on home ground on a Saturday, and they lost 3-1. Messi played in that game. So normally, when they play a game on Saturday, they get Monday off, and he knew Tuesday and Wednesday was going to be off the following week. Right? But what Messi did, the next day itself, on Sunday, he flew to Saudi Arabia. He flew to Saudi Arabia because he is also a sports ambassador in Saudi Arabia. So he had another contract there. But when he came back to Paris the following Tuesday or Wednesday, he was fined 2 weeks of salary. And he was banned from playing for his own team for 2 weeks. Now, we know that he is somebody who's paid to play football. And he is penalized. He never played, he never did anything. So what can we learn from here? Why do you think he was penalized for something that he was actually supposed to do anyway, to actually play football? What does that tell you? The fact that he is penalized for something that is outside playing football. Anyone? Conflict of interest. Okay, I'll mark the ball there because it's quite related to what I'm going to say, but I'm hoping for more feedback from
Contract violation.
contract violation. Okay, that's closer. Okay, so it is basically a contract violation. Okay, and anyone? There are no right or wrong answers. Just brainstorming here.
Double contract at one time.
Double contract at one time. Okay. Contract violation. Okay.
Negligence.
Negligent. Wow, that's a big word. The lawyers are already scratching their head. Okay, good. But negligence will come to it in a short while, a few slides later. Now, the thing is, Lionel Messi was signed to play football, right? Everybody knows that. But now we know that there are other terms and conditions that he needs to fulfill in order to fulfill his contractual requirement. That is, if he needs to step out of the club, out of Paris even, he needs to get permission from his club. He did not get permission from his club. So, what you all need to understand, I hope you all understand, is when you sign a contract, let's say to build a building, your scope is not only to build the building, there are other terms and conditions that you need to comply with. For example, design code, building bylaws, environmental pollution issues, parameters, safety regulations and all that. So that should give you an idea. Look, when you sign a contract, you are bound by other conditions apart from the main scope that is to play football. The second thing is, Lionel Messi can sign many contracts. So he can play football, he can also be an ambassador to another club or a country, no problem. So you must understand that as a contractor or a company, you are entitled to sign as many contracts as you like, as long as there are no conflict of interest, and each contract has got its own parameters. So that is another lessons I hope you appreciate about Lionel Messi going to Saudi Arabia and getting fined subsequently. That's one part of it. The second part of it is this photo here. This one here was just taken a few days ago when he won his 8th best player of the year, Ballon d'Or. 8th best player. This is the most important or biggest individual award that any player, football player in the world can dream of. He's won it 8 times. But my question to you all is, he won an individual award, but could he have done on his own, you think?
No.
No. Impossible, right? So for however well somebody excels in, you need a team to be there with you. If Lionel Messi is playing as an attacking midfielder, for example, he needs an equally strong right back. He needs an equally versatile goalkeeper. He needs an equally strong blah blah blah. You know where I'm getting at, right? So there is no one champion. There need to be at every point of that team people who have to do their best in order for people like Lionel Messi to do their best. And for Lionel Messi to do his best, there must be him contributing to somebody else's performance. So, in a project environment, in the construction industry at least, for you to succeed as a legal manager or a document controller or HSC manager, you need your team members to also perform. So remember, project managers, site managers, construction managers, look, we have a bigger team that actually needs to work together. Always have this in mind. Think about Lionel Messi. For him to win that one award, it's not him alone. No way. There's a whole team that actually made him come up there. So that's the second thing I want you all to appreciate, that it's a teamwork as far as project is concerned. Now, there's a third element here. Apart from a team to succeed, in this case PSG, or today he plays for this club called Inter Miami, or his most famous achievement was a club called Barcelona in Spain. What is the other element that made the team successful? What can make a team successful? What support do they need for the team to be successful?
Coaches.
Yes. Who said that? Okay. Good point, Prashant. Coaches.
Page basis on time.
Sorry?
Page basis on time.
Page based on time. Okay, good finance people, finance management. Training, good training.
Proper SOP and guidelines.
Sorry?
Proper SOP and guidelines.
Proper SOP guidelines. Okay, very good. Alia? Good collaboration with teammates. Okay, good. That's team building itself on its own. Supporters. Yes, excellent. Excellent supporters. Yes, very good, important stakeholders. Strategy. Yes, tactics. Technical.
Practice.
Yes.
More matches for practice to improve.
Sorry, Paul.
Improvement through practice.
Yes, practice. Practice makes perfect. Someone else, some people else outside. Sorry? Managers. Okay, the managers, the team coach, the sports director, the physiotherapist, the medical personnel, the finance people, club owners, chairman. So you need a bigger set of people outside the team to actually bring the team up. So back to the construction industry, if you're going to be successful as a project manager, as a project team, subcontractor, consultant, or whoever, you need the support or backing of your management. So if you imagine this scenario, you go to a counter, a reception counter or pondok jaga, and then the jaga, just press like that on his chair and say, "Apa mau?" How do you feel? What's your feeling as you go and ask for help? What's the feeling that comes? Okay, so it's not got the right SOP. Okay. Okay, the moment somebody comes at that kind of a defensive position, you back off, right? It comes very naturally. As opposed to somebody who asks you, how can I help you? Boleh saya bantu cik? You know, that kind of state, you feel welcome. So with this kind of interaction and interrelations, you feel more welcome to work as a team. So if you go to a receptionist in a hotel, for example, maybe that receptionist may not be able to solve your problem, but you know that someone's actually trying to help you, and you will eventually get to that. So this is something that actually cultivates directly or indirectly the creative thinking part. Okay? As I say, I'm going to ease you very slowly into this thinking process. Now, many of you are looking at me. Please look at each other, okay, and get to know each other well. So we have a small break, not a breakout. Is it called a breakout? It is a breakout among yourselves to find out a bit more about yourselves. It is 5 per table, and we're going to have a small activity called 2 truths and 1 lie. So start thinking now. 2 truths and 1 lie. You tell the rest of the 4 around your table 2 true things about yourself and 1 lie about yourself, and see whether they can say, oh, this is what you are lying. Okay? Just get their votes. And I give an example, but don't take my example. I give the worst example. I am wearing a black suit. Number 2, I'm wearing black pair of shoes. Number 3, my beard is blue. I mean, yeah, you know which is a lie, but don't make it so obvious lie. Okay, so be creative in what you want to actually tell and hide about yourself, and see whether people can catch you on this. So, have you got the hang of it? Okay, let's go around each of you, among the people around your table. Tell 2 truths and 1 lie about yourself. Please carry on. Okay.
Since my colleagues, they are aware actually, they both things they
My weight is
30 years ago.
I think the first one, That's why I say that. I say,
Okay, so when they didn't tell the truth, were you able to catch it?
Yeah, I think all in their lives.
Okay, from the moment you were able to catch it. That's the consensus of the table. Okay, what about this table?
Quite easy to catch a lie.
Anand is an experienced contract manager by the way. Okay, good. Any feedback from this?
Sometimes when people want to check whether something is true or untrue, they refer to the norms. So when something sounds abnormal, that's the one that people guess that it is a lie.
Good point, excellent point. Did you get what Jay mentioned? Basically what he's saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, from my interpretation of what he said, is that you observe people to see where they do not sound right. Is that what he's saying? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So one of the ways you actually notice people is on using critical thinking. Again, this is not exact science and neither it is rocket science. So you have a problem. You see this guy, either by body language, his eye may be twitching or his nose may be going bigger and smaller or something about it. The way someone says that you might think, oh, this could be not true. So it gives you a thought that, hey look, there's something wrong here and probably this is what it's a lie. And what Mr. Anand said, okay, lie, it's very easy to lie. So it's easy for you to catch what is right, what you think is right and what you think is wrong. This is part of critical thinking. So it's not only applicable in the construction industry or contract management, it's applicable in all levels of society, in life basically. There's something some people do that gives a premonition through experience or whatnot. That, hey look, this is how I think this guy is. Okay, this is a bidder who thinks he knows the stuff but doesn't know the stuff. You know, that's the kind of impression that an employee will get from the bid and discussions. So this is actually part of critical thinking. So thank you very much for participating in this exercise. Shall we move to the next topic? Okay. Now we're getting a bit, putting our foot into the actual meat of contracts. Let's talk about history. In the Malaysian context, contracts law goes back a long, long way, even outside Malaysia. Any idea where the origins of contracts law in Malaysia came from? British law. Thank you for that. Sorry?
India.
India. Who said India? Anna. Okay. Any idea? Sorry? English law. Okay, good. So the origins, the actual start of the law in Malaysia comes from, you're right, it comes from English common law and law of equity. These are origins, yeah, the origins. English common law and law of equity. Have you all heard the term common law?
Yes.
Okay, do you all know what it means?
No.
It's okay. Common sense. Do you all know what common law means?
I've heard common law wise.
Common law wise. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Combination of both. Common law, in the simplest sense, is the laws made by judges. The law made by judges is called common law. In the Commonwealth scenario, Commonwealth, in the British Empire, the former British Empire, the Commonwealth countries, laws made by judges are called common law decisions. Because don't forget, the separation of powers, you have one person who makes the law. And what is that called? What is the institution called? Who makes the law? Who makes the law in this country? Parliament, right? And then another team that actually executes the law. Who is that? Executes. Yeah, prosecutor, enforcement, okay, immigration, all these people, bomba, hospital, what are they called? The authorities, they come under the executive, headed by the cabinet. So you have the legislative, you have the executive, and then you have the judiciary, the people who judge the law. One person makes the law, one person executes the law, and the other person judges the law, called judiciary. But because the laws cannot be defined to the minutest detail, judges, when they give judgment, itself becomes a mini law, so to speak. Can you understand? That mini law is actually called common law. So when you hear the term common law, in the layman's sense, you can say that it is a law made by judges. Although, strictly speaking, in separation of powers, judges don't make laws. Parliament makes the law. Yes, I guess my understanding of it. Thanks. Right. Back to my earlier question. The origin of law in Malaysia, the law itself actually came from, Anand, you're right, it is from India. The contract law in Malaysia originates from India. Many hundred years ago, or more than 100 years ago, I think the jewel of the crown, in the crown of the British Empire, was India. So a lot of trades were taking place in India. And even, you all know the Indian rupee, the currency, around 1839, 1840, was the official currency for Yemen, for Middle East, and also for Malaya, Strait settlement, Penang, Malacca, Singapore, all used the Indian rupee as the currency. So India was the center of the British Empire, so to speak, the jewel in the crown. And there was need to formulate laws in India, and the Britishers imported laws from India and formulated the Indian Contract Law in 1872. This Indian Contract Law was actually adopted in Malaya as Contracts Act 1950, and then was amended in 1974, and then continues to be amended from time to time. So, the origins of Malaysian contract law comes from India. Basic principles of contract. Who can come up with the first point about contract? To have a contract, you must have an offer. Oh, fantastic! I'm getting good words here. You must have an offer. Everyone understand that? You must have an offer. And then the second point is you must have an acceptance. Fantastic. So you all are getting into it, right? So there must be an offer and an acceptance. So Zara, for example, if you offer me an apple, can I accept an orange? No, right? Why?
No, an offer, not the same.
Right.
It's not the same.
Right, because they don't match. The offer and acceptance don't match. What about you, Camelia? Correct. Pronouncing correctly? I can't see. Okay. Let's say you offer me an apple. Can I accept half an apple? In law, if you offer me an apple, can I accept half an apple?
Yes.
No? I heard yes.
Yes.
And any reason why?
I did only half. I can accept half. It's still an apple. It's still an apple.
Okay, the answer is the offer and acceptance must match. Apple to apple, one apple to one apple. It cannot be half an apple. Because in law, if I were to accept half an apple, what actually happens is, as far as Camelia is concerned, I'm actually counter-offering half an apple to her. Do you understand? A very important concept, especially if you're doing bidding, and you're discussing with the vendors and suppliers. So if you offer me one apple, I cannot accept half an apple. It becomes I'm actually counter-offering. Then you, okay, I'll take the half and apple. So the decision is now yours, whether to accept or not. So remember, very important fundamental concept of law. Offer and acceptance must match, must be the same. So when you see a bid to build something, you must make sure that you actually put up the bid for that particular same scope. The third aspect of a contract is what's called consideration. Consideration basically means, I do this, you pay me this. That's all. I construct a garage for you, you pay me for the garage based on agreed terms. That's what's called consideration. So these are 3 out of the 4 elements of contracts. So there's one element that is missing. One element that is missing. So let's say, Cik Roslan, there are 3 elements I introduced. I say, Cik Roslan, shall we have coffee? I'm offering him, shall we have coffee? And then you tell me, alamak, if I have coffee with you, I'm going to miss my bus. I'm going to balik kampung today, Saturday, kan? But, okay, I'll take your offer. So you accept my offer. Okay? So as you wait for me, and then just before our coffee time, I said, Cik Roslan, sorry lah, I've got something urgent to do. Sorry, really I cannot attend to you because Cik invited me for the jamuan, so I can't attend to you. Then he scratched me, oh my God, I missed the bus, I missed the opportunity to sign a big contract in my hometown or whatever. So on your part, the consideration is, you've missed out so many things, you've actually sacrificed. So can you sue me for that? Okay, can you sue me for that? Because it's breaking promise, kan? I offer, you accept, there's consideration on your part, but I did not fulfill my part by having coffee with you. Okay, so can you sue me for that? Can. Can.
As it leads to the loss of opportunity.
Loss of opportunity. Any feedback? Okay. This is how contracts people think. The answer is no, you cannot sue. The reason is there's one element that is missing. That is the intention for me and you to go into a legal relation. That is very important. The final jigsaw is there must be an intention. As opposed to, I think another scenario, yeah. Let's say Cik Roslan and me are having dinner. So I said, and let's say I'm a businessman, he's a contractor. Okay? And I said, Cik Roslan, you know, it will be good that in anticipation of what I'm going to do, blah, 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 that you start clearing my land. Okay, I will pay you 10,000 ringgit on that. Over drinks. And then Cik Roslan said, okay, I'll get it done by next week. You'll see your land all clear. So based on that verbal assurance that I'll pay you 10,000 ringgit, he goes ahead and clears the land. Then he comes and asks for payment. I said, I didn't sign any contract with you. It's contoh saja lah, just example. And then Cik Roslan can by all means go to the court, see your lawyer first and say, look, there was already an intention. He already said he was going to pay me, you know, and I sacrificed and actually got hired an excavator and whatever to actually get the land ready, and it's not paid me. So there you can establish an intention being created. So can you see the difference? Intention and no intention. With intention, it's legally enforceable. No intention, you just cakap mulut saja. It's different. Okay? So what are the 4 ingredients that make up a contract? I cannot hear you.
So meaning that even if you don't have any contract, but then after that, still we need to invoice it just now. Then now we can sue.
You can sue based on evidence like this.
We need that listing to go.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But there are some laws, for example, laws like in Malaysia, anything to do with land title, for example, it says it must be in writing. So if there's a superior law that says certain things must be in writing, and then you can sue on that. Marriage is also a contract, right? Okay, that is a bit touch and go situation because sometimes marriage are not signed, you know, but actually it's valid because of conduct between parties. So marriage contract can be enforceable. It is also Sorry? Sorry?
Question on that.
Yeah, please do.
We call you for an interview.
Okay.
Then they tell you that we have intention to hire you, but they don't hire you. Can you do it?
No. Thank you for your question. His question is, correct me if I'm wrong, his question is, someone has called you for an interview and given an indication he's going to offer you, and then in the end they do not award you. Is that your question? Thank you very much. Okay. My answer to that is no. There's no contract whatsoever. Because an intention alone does not actually fulfill an acceptance. It's only an intent. So intent is coming halfway there to say, I might give you, I might not. Then again, a letter of intent generally is not enforceable in law. But if the details of the letter of intent is just like a contract, then you can sue. Depend on the wording. So I hope I've answered your question. The general answer to that is no. It cannot be enforceable because it's only an intent.
How about another situation? Let's say I signed a letter of offer, then after that I suppose for within next year, say for example, in next year, then after that, in between I get an offer from this company. So if I decided to decline, can they sue me?
Yes. Okay, I'll just clarify that. I gave a very quick answer, but just clarify because these kind of questions in law, they open up floodgates. You know? So your question is, you've already got a letter of offer.
Yeah.
And sign.
And then
Okay, and then you
return to the company.
go back to another thing. So, is that your question?
Yeah.
Okay. The answer to that is, actually you've answered your own question actually. But I will tell everyone what the scenario is. He's received an offer and he said he signed it. Signing is accepted. Okay. It's easy for the company to prove there's already an intention because he went through the interview process, he went through the qualification, pre-qualification process and all that. So there's already a contract established between the company, employer and you. The fact that you take up another offer is a breach of contract. Unlike the Lionel Messi case. Lionel Messi had two separate contracts, one with PSG and one with Saudi Arabia. Two different contracts. Yours is a single employment contract which you breach. Therefore, they have the right to sue you.
So the best way to do that, stay at one joint company, say for example, first day,
Yes,
that is
standard resignation. Yeah.
You say verbal is by words, right? What if it's on the chat? Can you use that as evidence?
Your question is whether WhatsApp and stuff like that can be used as evidence. Okay. The answer to that is yes. Okay. Chat messages, any text messages, even at one time even emails were questionable, but now they're all very, very clear. Under the Multimedia Act, if I'm not mistaken, 1998, 2004, 2006, and subsequent changes, all these can be submitted as evidence. So chat messages can be printed and submitted as evidence. So the answer is yes. So good, the floodgates are opening up.
So the learning point here is don't set your own auto delete because you need
Okay, so you understand it, basic concepts.
Kami receive issue from the then after we do all the tendering exercise, we saw something like that. We saw something and then we submit then we get the contract. But after we get the contract, we find out that there's some item, there's from thousands of items. The cost is very, what we give it to them, the cost is very cheap, they're very small, very low. Yeah? Because there's thousands of items, the item is very low. And now, the client wants this item because already in the contract, you say, I want this item. But this item is very expensive. Even I cannot, if if I buy the others item also, I cannot get the profit. So how?
Thank you for your
How about
question. Thank you for your question. It's a very, very far-reaching question. I'm going to cover in a different topic, but I'll give you an answer anyway. Now, Encik Roslan's question is this. He's already bidding for some job, and in that bid, there's so many rates that he needs to fill. And his contract is eventually accepted. But he realized after submission that, and towards the contract, that there's some rates that are very, very high for him to buy. So when the client requests that he purchases, he says, he goes to the client, cannot only lose money. Is that your question?
Yeah.
Okay. The short answer to that is, you are bound by it. By law, you are bound by that. There's a case law even in Malaysia, I'll come to that. Just a heads up, have you heard of the rock band search? Okay, there's a case law on search. Okay, I'll come to that. Okay, you're bound by what you sign. So that is the law everywhere. So it's sad, but so you provide the rule. That's a hard rule. Can I proceed? Okay.
Just one question. Let's say we submitted the offer, and then they produce the LA, right? Before we accept, we say that there is an item that the rate has increased tremendously. Can we decline at that point?
That's a good question. They're getting very tricky.
Maybe, so let me sweeten the question.
Okay.
The price hike can lead you to war, for example, which is beyond our control. So how do we address that?
Okay. Now, the questions are getting trickier, and I really appreciate that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I understand from your question and your substantiation to it. Is when you bid, between the bid and the award, you are amending a rate in your bid. So you're asking whether is it valid when you actually accept the award, right?
No. I think just like we submitted the bid,
Okay.
and then they agreed with our bidding, then they offer, they issue us the LOA, but we have not accepted the LOA yet.
The issue letter of award, they refuse to accept the letter of award. Right.
Okay, good. We are jumping many steps ahead. Shall I do it now or
Or when it comes to...
when I come to it? There's actually a slide we can actually, I show it step by step, then you see, oh my God, this answers my question. So, if I answer now, don't get me wrong, I don't answer, I know the answer, but I want everyone to understand these are the steps. What happens when suddenly there's an intervening issue that changes my bid? I've got a slide on that, a series of slides actually. Okay, and it's not on printed notes because this is what do you call that? It's moving. What do you call that? Interactive slides. Okay, just hold on. I'll come to the answer. I can give it now, but I want everyone to appreciate that small part of it. We hope to serve break for tea at 10:30. So if you can just bear with me, because apparently the restaurant mentioned 10:30 they will be able to serve, and I won't be seeing them. They're coming through a back door. So they won't be passing here. You cannot smell them. So I just have to peep, or maybe insert someone just have to peep. So anyone who likes to use a memorized by abbreviation. So basic principle of contract is OACI, O-A-C-I. So if you want to impress your neighbor's cat that you know contract, remember the word OACI. Offer, acceptance, consideration, and intention. Okay? Your neighbor's cat will be very impressed. So remember that OACI is the easiest way to remember basic principles of contract. So very quickly, just definition of all that. An offer is an expression of willingness to contract on certain terms made with the intention. Remember back to the intention part earlier. That it shall become binding as soon as it's accepted. So offer and acceptance. And acceptance not is a promise, okay? I will accept to your terms. One apple, half apple, half apple. One apple cannot be half orange or one orange. So acceptance must match. That's what it means. Consideration is I promise you this, you do this. You build me a bungalow, I pay you 180,000 for that. So that is a consideration between parties. And the fourth one is the intention, remember the intention. Now, please pay to this part, intention. There is a very important case law that any student studying law, like you have, you got to study law subject in your course, or any part of Commonwealth, like Jamaica, or maybe Fiji, or in your doing contract law, you will come across this particular case called Khalid Carbolic Smoke Ball Company, 1892 case. It's 140 years old, but the principles established in the case is valid until today. Okay. What it says is that what happened was, a bit of story here, in 1898 to 1890, the whole world was suffering from an influenza. Does it sound familiar today? An influenza, 1898 to 1890. 1.5 million people died. Sorry, 1 million people died worldwide, estimated. That time the Earth population was 1.5 billion. So can you imagine, at that time itself was a big number, 1 million people died. So there was this company in London, in UK, called Carbolic Smoke Ball Company, based in out of London, where they said it will positively cure so many diseases, you know. Alia, can you read? Okay, can you just point and just read the words? You can see now. I'm blind as a bat. Yeah, all these words. Can you just read? Yeah, a bit louder, please.
Will positively cure.
Okay.
100.
No. The one is small letters.
Small one?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll go nearer then. I'll go nearer. Okay. Thanks. Thank you for that.
I think the first column is cough. Cold.
Cough. Who's saying that? Wow, you know, I said excellent. Okay. Cough.
Cold. Cataract.
Oh, is it cataract? Is it?
Yeah.
Anak betul je nak.
Asthma.
Oh, yeah, correct.
You know something.
Bronchitis. Okay, here.
Loss of voice.
Smoking.
Snoring.
Okay, this one here. Influenza. So it looks like this Carbolic Smoke Ball, this company promise can solve anything. Kan? You know what it is actually? It's actually minyak angin.
Loss of voice as well.
Loss of voice. Look, magic. Okay, so this company, Sotro boleh. Semua boleh lah. I think marital problems also can, I think. You know, like they declare they solve everything. Not even
Marriage problem.
I cannot see, you know. And sorry for the writing is small because this is the actual advertisement that came up. This is the actual advertisement that I actually blew up for this slide. So even if you see in the internet, also it will be like this lah. So please excuse. Does it say marital problems? So this company says anybody who catches this flu will get £100 reward. £100 in 1892 was a lot of money. Maybe what, £5,000 today, maybe. And then they said, look, to tell people that I'm serious, I here deposit £1,000. I deposit to say that I'm serious. So what happened? Mrs. Khalid, she bought that thing, and she still contracted this flu, influenza. They call it influenza. So she sued Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. She said, look, you promised me this, and I want my £100 because I cannot this. And then the company turned around and said, sorry, no. I just made an advertisement. So it's coming to your point earlier on advertisement. I just made an advertisement. I didn't contract with you. I do not know who you are. You're just a member of the public. So they refused to pay Miss Khalid, and the case went to court. And it eventually court of appeal, I think. So there were two judges who made a very, very brilliant judgment. They said, look, here it is an advertisement. What you claim probably is right. Okay? But the fact that you promised to give £100 pound to anybody who contracted means you are making an offer. Betul tak? Understand this concept, very important for bidding people. You are actually making an offer by saying, okay, 100 pounds will be given. So this Miss Khalil, she unilaterally accepted because she bought and she kena. Unilateral, there's a unilateral acceptance in a whole big public. So there was a contract. And then the judges went on to say something that's more important, very important too. They said, look, Mr. Carbolic Smoke Board, to prove that you had the intention, you even deposited 1,000 pounds to show your intention to come into a contract. So the court says, you pay the damages. You pay the damages. So you see how the intention part of it comes into play. It's very, very important. So this is a very, very important case law from 1892. Any part of the Commonwealth you will be studying. Any questions so far? Understand? Going very, very slowly, how you think, how the judges think, and how you act.
Even though when she purchased the minyak again, there was no agreement signed.
No agreement, by conduct.
The contract, based on the advertisement.
Absolutely. Based on that, she relied, there was consideration on her part, she relied. So like just now, I said, don't you know, you relied on my promise, but you miss your bus, balik kampung. The reliance is a consideration.
There's one more question. How does Ms. Khalil have to prove to the court that she already bought that thing?
Receive, doctor's letter, those are evidential issues. Test.
Just one question or more. Going back to your example for the coffee meeting. What if you had booked a table at the coffee shop and then you cancelled the meeting? That can be considered as a ticket?
No. His question was the coffee and the booking of the table. Whether it's an intention.
If you had booked the table in advance and said to meet at this particular time, but then later you back out.
My defense will be that booking of the table has got nothing to do with the outcome of my discussion with you. So the answer is no. The evidence do not match. The intentions do not match. So that will be my defense in court. So the answer is no.
I heard that, but I'm not sure about it. It's regarding the Red Bull. Somebody sued Red Bull. Because Red Bull says that, okay, we can give you wings. And then, what I heard lah, I don't remember that, but this guy win the case. Because they still thinking that when I drink Red Bull, I can get the wings. I'm not sure if you know about that.
I'm not sure about that, but it is an extreme example of Red Bull as humans developing wings. I do not know.
Yeah, because
apart from the
in
obvious.
German said Red Bull fly Google, give you wings. They say in German lah. Because I don't see it everywhere in understand English.
My answer to that will be to definitely no, because I do not see how the judges can be convinced
Yeah,
that anyone can
that's
do.
why I'm not sure.
There have been cases where smokers have sued tobacco companies and won damages for lung cancer. In US, I do not know now. It has happened before. I have not heard as in extreme cases. Saya.
So what is the end story of this case?
Okay, the end story is there is a contract. The bottom line is the court decided there was a contract because 4 conditions were filled. The offer was actually made by Khalil. It wasn't made by. Offer was actually made by the smoke ball company, not Miss Khalil. The acceptance was by Miss Khalil. Number 3, there was consideration because she actually paid for it and she suffered as a result. So there was consideration on her part. Number 4, there was intention created by them depositing the 1,000 pounds. So the court declared that there's a valid contract between Smoke Board and a member of the public called Mrs. Khalil. So they have to pay the 100 pounds and maybe other court costs. That is the verdict. When you see this in a shop, what does it come? What do you see? Is it an offer, acceptance, intention, or what?
Offer.
by who? Who's offering it?
Shop.
Shop is offering it. Any dissenting opinions? I'm coming closer to you because it's related to your earlier question. When you see an offer in a shop, what does it tell you? 90% of people who are not legally trained will get this wrong. 90% will get it wrong. When you see this in a shop, when you buy something in a shop, let's say you buy cigarettes, who's a smoker here? Dia smoker. When you go to a shop and you buy cigarettes, okay, saya nak rokok Dunhill. Who's doing the offer?
Manufacturer.
Sorry?
Manufacturer.
Manufacturer.
The buyer.
Manufacturer.
Buyer.
The answer is the buyer.
Because he asked for it.
So he is doing the offer. It's up to the shopkeeper to sell or not. If Mr. J is underage, he can say, no, I don't want to sell to you. So up to him to accept. So here, when you see an offer, who's actually giving you the offer? Who's actually going to offer?
Shop.
No, it's the buyer. It's the buyer who's actually going to do the offer. So the shop is actually misleading you. They are not giving you a special offer. You are the one who have agreed to go on a discounted price of invitation to treat. The company is actually asking you to bid at a lower price. That's all they're doing. So it's not an offer. It is not an offer. Please get this concept right. They are actually asking you to bid on a lower price. Okay, last time was 180 ringgit. Now please give me an offer for a lower price. So it's an invitation to bid at a lower price. So terminology wise, from a legal point of view, this is wrong. It's not an offer. You can use the word sale. You can use the word sale, special discount. You can use that. But the moment you say special offer, actually you are the one going to offer it. It's not them. So fundamentally, please get this right. So an offer is actually made by the buyer. That's why when you take out your dollar, ringgit note, wang kertas ini sah diberlakukan dengan nilai 10 ringgit. Or a US currency says something that, okay, this pays for the debt, public or private something. Because you are now taking on a tender and saying, look, I'm offering this as a consideration. Give me the cigarette. So that is the legal basis of that statement. You are the offerer, the person, the shopkeeper is the offeree. Offerer, offeree.
How about the same change to lelo?
Lelong is auction. Auction is a bid. Auction is an invitation to treat. Okay, here is not a case of direct sales and purchase. It's basically an invitation to trade. Okay, who wants the highest bidder? The old term was will get the goods. But today's term is
the word lelo.
Lelo. Okay, auction. Auction is where you set a price on what's the criteria of acceptance. But there's a caveat to it. Will the highest price win? Nowadays they tweak it, may win. Because they still want to have the final say whether they want to give it to you or not. Okay, so an offer is basically, an auction is basically an invitation to trade. It's not an offer.
And sir, and how is the Bible disclaimer? The lowest bidder not necessarily win.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Yes. Those days, JKR fell into the trap. I'm talking 40 years ago. The contract will be awarded to the lowest bidder. So somebody bid 1 ringgit. Hey, you said you're going to award to me. Okay. So I think JKR and the government realized that the award cannot be given to the lowest bidder. It may be given to the lowest bidder. You put a caveat there. So it's up to the person who's actually going to accept. So that's how they tweak the law, because people became smart. Lawyer buruk.
One question. Let's say for this particular case, for that particular case now, go back to the previous slide, please.
Sure.
So now the buyer is offering, right?
Yeah.
So in this particular case, let's say that we offer that 150, and then the seller decided not to buy. Can we sue that? Because they are offering, they put their special offer there.
what I call it, language-wise, they are offering, even though technically or contractually it's not offered from them.
Thank you for that question. Very, very tricky question. It's actually a straightforward question, a very tricky answer. Your question, just let me clarify again. Although it says 150 ringgit now, you are now offering for 150, whether the seller has got the right to refuse.
Yes.
You understand the question? That's the question. The answer is, the general answer is, yes, that is a contract. That is the answer, because you can rely on Khalil case. Okay, there's already an intention. No, if a situation may be the case of cigarettes, or somebody coming to the shop drunk, say, I don't want to sell this to you because it will cost more dust and all that. So the seller has got a reason to say why I don't want to sell to you. Or somebody takes up money and the seller thinks that is counterfeit money. So I will not sell, not going to sell. That's the situation here. But the general answer to your question is, you can be sued because intention is proof. Okay, we will dig deeper and deeper and we try for E. This is a bit heavy topic. Actually, we are far off. There's so many things, but you all don't mind sitting through this. This is a bit heavy. Will you have? Have you come across this term called vitiate? In contracts, when you read contract documents, especially any contract document, the word vitiate means spoil. Spoil. What can spoil a contract? So far we've been talking about what can make a contract, which is, what are the forms that can make a contract? Yeah, OACI. So these are the issues that can actually spoil a contract. And I'll go very fast. The first is, if there's no certainty in the contract. For example, if there's a clause saying, you build the house, I will pay you a reasonable amount. So is that a valid contract? No, right? Because the value of the consideration is not fixed. What do you mean by reasonable amount? 10 ringgit, 10 cents, 5 cents, 3,000? So because there is no certainty, the contract is rendered void. That is tak wujud. Or void ab initio. Tak wujud from the beginning. It is logical, kan? The second situation, it is illegal. Okay, this is a very bad example, but I'm going to take the worst case. Let's say I hire somebody to murder someone. So I'm giving an offer, the guy accepts, okay, you give me 50,000, I'll go and murder the person. So his consideration is actually the murder. Now he's coming to ask payment from me, and I refuse to pay him the 50,000. Can he go to court and say, this guy last promised to pay me 50,000 murdering the guy, does not pay me? Cannot, right? It's obvious because you're contracting something that is illegal in the country, in that particular country, based on the governing law. Logicnya. So anything that's illegal is void. Yang ketiga, frustration. Anybody knows the meaning of frustration? Sorry. Sorry.
Contractor payment.
Contract payment. Okay. Anybody knows the meaning of frustration in a contract's perspective? Okay, I'll answer it. Frustration is not an emotional frustration like what lame people know. Frustration in contracts or law means subsequent impossibility. Subsequent to that, it's impossible to actually execute the contract. So subsequent impossibility is called frustration in a contract. Example, in 1863, there was this case in Surrey, in southeast England. Taylor and Cromwell. Mr. Taylor went to this opera house and did a booking to do a performance, musical performance. He paid paid for this, macam you know, this train rental. But on that day or before that performance could happen, the whole opera house burned down in fire. So obviously there's no subject matter already, impossible, right? So that's called a contract is frustrated. So subsequent frustration is called, a subsequent impossibility is called frustrated. So if your supplier, you order a valve from Italy and along the Suez Canal the ship sinks, your valve is lost in the sea. Contract is frustrated, then you declare force majeure macam-macam. So there's no contract, it's void, no contract, void. Another part is consent. This is voidable. You see the word, I use the word void and voidable. I was hoping somebody will be asking me this. Anyway, void means it's no legal effect. Voidable means there is a chance that it can be made void. There's a chance that it can be made void. For example, capacity is a voidable contract. You contract with a minor, intoxicated mental capacity. So this guy, while intoxicated, he signs, or his kurang siuman, unsound mind, he signs a contract. If one day he comes into some problem, he can try his luck to go to the court and say, look, at the time I signed, I was drunk. Okay, so he can say, please void the contract because I was drunk. So that's the situation of voidable. Okay, but the thing about minor, okay, the slight caveat here, because for example, in Muslim law in this country, the marrying age is what, 16? Okay, don't know. Okay. So the signing of a marriage contract under Islamic Sharia law in this country is minor who boleh sign. But for commercial contracts, okay, there's an age limit 18. So there's some caveat. So capacity, coercion, duress, anybody extort you, blackmail, torture, sexual assault, all this can be used as defense to nullify the contract. Defense can be used as a defense. Bukan untuk attack, tapi defense.
Sorry sir, just back to the first one, capacity. Space. What about you leave in Sydney without knowledge? He signed the contract and later on closed the contract.
Jayaman's question is this: someone who signs a contract without knowing basically what the terms and conditions are.
Maybe he's uneducated.
The law is very, very clear. Again, I'm very happy because you're actually fast forwarding here. Really shows something like that. The law is very, very clear. Unless you're proven drunk, blah, 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 as I mentioned, you are bound by what you sign. Full stop. The law is very, very clear.
Even though he's damn stupid.
Is damn stupid. Stupidity is no excuse. In law, stupidity is no excuse. There was a case, two Indian guys, Malaysian Indian guys, one Indian guy lent money to the guy, money lender. So the other Indian guy signed the contract. He went to the court and said, I don't understand English. The court is English, doesn't matter, that is a contract, it's a case law. Undue influence, okay, you twist people's arm to sign a contract, all can be viable. Here is the case of the search. Can I have it? Search. Have you all heard of this group called Search?
Yes.
You all have, right? A famous rock band. Very, very famous, very excellent musicians. What happened was, 1984-85, they were actually becoming very, very popular. They signed a contract with Polydor Records. Polydor Records had all the rights, copyright to their songs, to the distribution, marketing, etc. Subsequent to that, they signed another contract, also more or less on the same terms, in 1985, 1 year later. Now, Polygram Records had an employee called Eric Yu, who was also became search manager. So there was a conflict of interest. On one side he was an employee, on the other side was a manager. And then Search got a bit entrepreneur thinking. They went and formed their own company called Go Search. And then they started recording the song and marketing. So that's why Polygram sued Search and the other marketing company called Acidics or something. And then what Search told the court was, look, I was unduly influenced by this guy, Eric Yeo. Because we relied on him and he was a corridor guy. And yes, he was actually our manager. The court said no. At the time of use, when you signed the contract, we have no evidence that you were under any undue influence. So the court said it's a valid contract. So basically that's not. This is one of the principles from that contract. There's another principle of counterlay also on Search. Fraud, obviously fraud is also one avoidable. Misrepresentation, to say, oh, this one just new, don't worry, it's new. So you misrepresented to do signing a contract. Then you find out it's actually a use or recon or blah blah blah. And so you can go to the court and say it's wrong. Mistake, okay, there are two types of mistake. Mistake is a bit tricky, by the way. Tricky, but it goes on case to case basis. Okay, shall we break? Shall we break for tea? Okay. 10 minutes, is it okay? Is it okay, 10 minutes? Someone's asking for extension of time. Okay, we'll break by here. Let's fix it 10 minutes first and then we'll see how ready you are. This is getting interesting now. Okay, we'll break now and see you in about 10 minutes at 10:47, yeah? I think it's ready. I just keep it.
Good things though.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had a good break, good chit chat, good cup of coffee, and revitalize to continue the second half of this. You have on your table a newly distributed form. This is basically the evaluation sheet. So this is actually for one of my requirements for submission, and I drafted that so that you can put in your comments too. Anything you feel that I've done well, I've not done well, or there's room for improvement, please be honest in your judgment or evaluation. I really appreciate that. And as soon as you've done it, you can come around and collect it. Okay, we will eventually come and collect it. So I really appreciate it. Now, as we come to our second part, before now and lunch, okay, we need to accelerate. So we were on start mode, we engaged the first gear, second gear, and we were cruising only on second gear. So now we need to accelerate. Now we've got the hang of it, I believe we can go faster. So the first part, this morning we learned what are the basics of contract. Today, now, it's very, very quick thing about definition. So if somebody asks you whether you're a contract manager, whether you're a logistics manager, whether you are a maintenance engineer, whether you're a bidding manager, what do you mean by contract? What's the definition of contract? Very simple question again. I just want to remember three things, just three. The first is, it is an agreement between parties. you can picture this shaking hands. It's an agreement between parties. Can a contract be signed between more than two parties? Can a contract be signed more than boleh kan? Can. Yeah, consortium, etc. Consortium. So a contract can be signed two or more. So it's an agreement between two parties. That is the first thing. If you can just picture that thing on the right, it will give you a good visualization. Next time you want to tell your neighbor's cat what's the definition of today is, you can do it. Just visualize this. The second is, it must set mutual obligation. So if you can picture a handcuff between the offerer and the offeree. The offerer and the offeree are bound by mutual covenants, by mutual obligation. That's the second condition. The third condition is, it must be enforceable by law. There are only three conditions to define what's a contract. So you can put it in your own words. Own words. If somebody asks, what is a contract? So you can just use this and construct a sentence. So, for example, if I ask you, can you define a contract? So can you just try? In saying it in one sentence, what's a contract?
Basically, the contract actually, which is the compliance of compliance method.
Can you combine these three sentences into one sentence? No, just one sentence. Let's make this into one sentence.
Mutual enforceable.
Yeah, in one sentence. I mean, sentence people can understand.
Put it binding, right?
Yeah, please do.
Commitment.
No, it's just using these words. Just using these words and form a sentence. Itu saja. Okay, please try.
Contract is an agreement between two parties with mutual understanding or mutual obligation that enforceable by law.
Exactly, that's all. Itu saja. That's all. Very simple. A contract is basically an agreement between parties that sets mutual obligations between them, which is enforceable by law. Itu saja. You can be in Jamaica, you can be in Fiji, you can be in New Zealand. It applies same. Okay? Very simple definition. So tak payah lah perkara-kara, no need. Only these three pictures: shaking hand, locking together, and the judge. Okay kan? Understood. Very good. Sometimes people use the word agreement, sometimes people use the word contract. Have you ever wondered why? It's no big deal. Sometimes people like to use the word agreement, sometimes like to use the word contract. So the answer is simple. Anytime you hear the word contract, it means it's enforceable by law, as we saw the definition here. But an agreement not necessarily is enforceable by law. For example, MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, is also an agreement. Very hardly enforceable by law, because seldom you have consideration that you pay this guy 8,000 ringgit, the guy does this, very seldom. So MOU, shareholders agreement, they are basically not contracts. They are just meeting of the mind. Meeting of the mind. So in short, a contract is a subset of an agreement. A contract can be an agreement, but an agreement may not necessarily be a contract. Okay? Just understand the basic concept. What about rental agreement? Ataupun sales and purchase agreement, is that a contract?
Yes.
Of course, yeah. So you can also call it sales and purchase contract. You can also call it rental contract. Yeah. So just again for your knowledge. Okay, we are going to do a short activity here. A video presentation. It's only 2 minutes long. Just 2 minutes video saja. 2 minutes saja. This is on how blunders can happen. This is where your critical thinking comes in. Okay, not only in contract management document, but also in projects. So in this example, okay, I'll give you an example so that you can set your mind to it. In this example, it's obvious that two rail lines do not meet. Okay, the alignments run by actually one gauge, satu gauge and a ring. So that's an obvious problem here. Okay, the rail lines do not meet. second question is, who you think would be responsible for this blindness in this particular situation? That's the second question I will ask. So who in your project team, or in the company, or in your subcon supplier, consultant, you will actually go and see, guys, what went wrong here? Who?
Project manager.
I like the word surveyor better. Project manager is the easiest answer to give because anything happens in the world is always the project manager. Kesian aja, kesian. Eating him, everything project manager. But the more accurate answer is the land surveyor. But your answer is not wrong. And how it could have been.
My comment is, let's say yes, let's say part of the team under the project manager.
Yes, sir.
Whenever the land surveyor do the survey, the project manager must check. So if he did not check, the project manager got the blame.
How this could have been avoided? I'll answer the question. It's actually the supervisor or the resident engineer, etc. So again, it's not a project manager. Senang nak lead project manager. Balik office, bawah dia belah lantai dia. So, jumpa klien belah lantai dia. So it's easy to whack the project manager. No, but when being specific, you know what happened. So be quick to see what happened. Okay, shall I go to the video? It's a very 2-minute video showing 10 blunders. Okay, it's from YouTube. Okay, here's all the video. So, I'll just pick some names, then you'll just tell me what you have observed, then answer the 3 questions. What went wrong? Who would you actually, not blame, but actually discuss issues with? And number 3, how it could have been corrected. So you can pick whatever image you saw in the 2-minute video, and then just give me your opinion about it. There's no right or wrong answer. I want to see how fast you catch issues. Shall we start with you, Shafiq? Okay. From the videos you watched, what was that you noticed that was wrong, and who you think created it, and what you think could have avoided among all the mistakes you saw? And any mistake, doesn't matter. Did you watch any? Okay, you are referring to which particular episode for that? Which part of the video? Oh, the staircase, okay. Okay, what about the staircase? Different tender, so mismatch between big drawing and construction drawing, okay. Good. So how can you avoid it in future, going forward? From the lesson learned? Good. Excellent question, answer. Okay, make sure the drawings are right before construction. These are all construction related. If you notice, they are not tender related. So they are all post-award, not pre-award. So the construction drawing is very, very important at this stage. Would you like to try anything?
Try.
Yes, sure.
Two different contractors trying to do job at the same time.
Yes.
Because you split the contract. One is building the roads. The other one is actually putting the poles.
Correct. Okay. That's a very good point. Thank you very much for that clarification. Okay. The issue there, I believe you're referring to the one road surfacing, and you got an electric pole right in the middle. You see, you notice the guy actually doing the road surfacing with a structure already obstructing it. So the fault lies in the person who's actually doing the road, correct? Because there's a subsequent guy. Good observation, thank you. As opposed to the other one, where you see the road that goes between the electric pylons, that can be avoided. That's only a temporary road, so it's not an issue. As opposed to here, the pole is already there and you're actually constructing a road. That's a big no-no in contract management or project management. And the other point you brought up is, if you appoint too many subcontractors, you also have a problem at the site. As a contract manager, you have a lot of problems, project manager, a lot of problems. You saw the one with the CCTV and a screen there? That screen is either a call number system or a CCTV monitor. So if you appoint the contract to two different subcontractors, you have coordination problem. And it's obvious. One thing is blocking the other, so you avoid all this. So the important part, the important lesson here is supervision, very, very important. Here's where the contract manager plays a very important role, dealing with the project engineer, site supervisor, scheduler, even, etc. Very, very important. So that's a lesson learned from this activity. On the toilet, that one I have no explanation whatsoever. I cannot. It looks more like a sabotage. It's something like what Jay asked earlier. You sign a contract, or sign that too. It's that kind of situation. You don't know what you're doing. You build a.
Suppose that one is
Kindly
no
follow
details.
No
The
details.
owner says you do the toilet.
Bukan, sampai bangun pasang, pasang.
kindly follow the document.
Full.
Here's where sometimes bosses make a mistake in projects. When you sign a contract between A and contract B, okay, what does it mean in law is that can party A sue party B in contract? It says a breach. Can party A sue party B in breach of contract? Boleh kan? Very simple. Can party B sue party A?
Yes.
Straightforward kan? This is called privity of contract. So you hear the word privity of contract means both parties ada persaudaraan, ada perhubungan antara satu sama lain. They can sue and be sued. That's called privity of contract. Okay. If there's a third party, a stranger, because party A and party B have got no contractual relationship with party C cannot sue party A. Kan, logic kan? Just looking at the diagram. So there's no rocket science here. Now, let me tweak the situation a bit. If party B enters a contract with party C, can party B sue party C? Yeah. And vice versa pun boleh. So the obvious question is, can party A sue party C? Tak boleh kan? Because there's no privity. No privity of contract. Very straightforward. So let's look at one example. A guy by the name of Yasan. Sounds familiar, kan? Yeah.
actually combine together with party C as what is the term being used? Together as
Subcontractor.
NSC.
Joint
Not really joint venture. You so we must work together with some
answer here.
this.
Like nominated contractors.
Yeah, it's like you are being instructed. Okay, party A, you work together with party C to deliver this project.
There's no contractual obligation whatsoever. There's no contractual obligation whatsoever for party A to involve, to work together with party C. However, in practice, party C will be based on the same terms of contract because it flows down. Because of the flow down, there is a mutual commonality between both. But legally, cannot. Legally, they are separate entities. There's no PDT. Many people get it wrong, especially bosses. Sorry to say, bosses here, please forgive me, but I noticed that bosses do not see this as a problem. It is. To understand this concept, you must know how to position your team.
Just one more question. Jay was mentioning about the nominated subcontractor. In this particular case, C is, let's say, in this C is the nominated subcontractor to A. So that one, can they sue?
Good question.
The client nominated the company.
The client, let's say Petronas, Petronas nominate, hey, Mr. Yasak, you please employ this guy. Okay? So C is a nominated guy. Under the law, C is directly under control of me. So Petronas cannot instruct. Oh, no. Cannot. The same arrangements apply. Same. Only thing, the preference you nominate because he's my full-time contractor, he knows blah 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 specification.
But it happens. For example, in my case, real actual example. Party A is basically Petronas, the project owner. Then party B is myself. And party C is actually a subsidiary of Petronas. So party A may say in the contract you must appoint party C, which is most commonly known as GTS, to become a project partner in our project or executing a project. Okay. So the contract is between party A and party B, but there is an instruction given. The contract is saying that we must appoint party C.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Just let me clarify. Thank you for the question. Just let me clarify because the second part of the question you changed slightly. You said that in the contract it says that you have to work with my.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So my answer is very simple. Because that clause is mentioned in the contract that you have to work with so and so, so you are bound by it. It's a different scenario here. Because it's bound, you already signed for it. So the answer is yes, you are bound to work as a partner because it's already in the contract. So I hope that.
So now the contract will be between party A versus party B and C.
No. It is still between party A and party B. But under party B's contract of condition, party B has to work with party C because it's already in the contract. Party C is not an independent party anymore. It's part of subcontract.
But sir, what happens if party C refuse to listen to party B?
That's a breach already. That's normal breach of
This
contract.
commonly happens.
Commonly happens. So there's a breach of contract anyway. So that's straightforward. We already breaching the terms of the agreement.
Because party A should work in favor of party B, his employer, right?
It's a
Usually
mutual.
C was nominated by
Okay, thank you very much for the nomination, but my obligation is under party B. So I hope that answers the question. Very tricky. It's easier said than done in practice, but the law is very, very clear. Very, very clear. But if it's in the contract, party B have to work with party C, you have to do it. Okay. Yes, sir. This name sounds familiar. He owns the conglomerate. Okay. He owns two companies. One is a developer called Biasan Property Developments in Berhad, and the other one is a builder called Biasan Constructions in Berhad. So as a developer, he signs an agreement, S&P agreement, sales and purchase contract with the house buyer. But Upon delivery of the house buyer noticed the floor crack, the wall has cracked, the ceiling is sagging and all that. Can the house buyer sue VSN Construction? Never heard of? No. Very fast I read the word no.
It doesn't.
Sorry. So, can the house buyer sue VSN Construction or not? No. Why? Because there is no privity of contract. But that's the word. Because there's no privity of contract between VSN and VSN, the house buyer and VSN Construction. That is very obvious, can? So when you buy a house, don't go after the builder, go after the person who signed the property. Another example, VSN Construction engages Lim Roofing as a subcontractor to do all the roofing work among all the houses in the housing estate. So, for some reason, VSN has not paid Lim Roofing. Just read this. I will not explain it, but just read this and tell me your answer. I will not read it, but I want you all to read it and tell me the answer.
I think this will be because his purchase order was issued by VSN Construction.
Okay, thank you for the comment. Any comment? Critical thinking, remember we are the topic of critical thinking. Why cannot sue?
Contract. These people are not together.
The contract is between VSN Construction and Lim Roofing. Okay. Direct contract, okay, where's the critical thinking? I want you to think very critically. Read the green thing and answer whether can or cannot sue. Will the court accept this? Or is it arbitrator? Not arbitrator, the court. Or arbitrator. Can or cannot?
What do you mean by subcontract?
What is the obligations?
Subcontract, because Jason is a contractor. So he subcontract because you got roofing subcontractor, you got flooring subcontractor, you got plumbing subcontractor, macam-macam. So one of that is Lim Roofing. So just answer the question in Greek. I'm not going to read it out.
No.
I want no. Why no?
Because the question is Lim Roofing is successful to Vijasan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You got it right. Like my name is always mispronounced. My name Vijasan. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Very, very good. Okay, this is what's called critical thinking. Very observant. Okay? The contract is with Vijasan, but he cannot sue Vijasan. Okay, the arbitrator will say, thank you very much. The court will strike out your suit. So name is very important. That's why your finance people, for example, when you write the check, they are very particular on the name, the spelling. You know, it's very, very important. So I just wanted you all to be observant enough to actually read between the lines and then say can or cannot. You know? So good answer. So be very, very observant. It's part of the critical thinking process. So far, we've only talked about contract, agreement. Okay. Look at another scenario here. Party A enters into a contract with Party B. Ada privity, everybody knows. There's a third party, Party C, who's got no privity of contract. Suddenly, what happens is Party A injures Party B. Example, Party A ada crane dia jatuh. Jatuh menghempak sebuah kenderaan, sebuah kereta, belonging to Party C yang tak mengena dengan the contract. It could be even the staff car, for your information, can be even the staff, the project engineer's car. Oh, kena hempak. Can Party C sue Party A?
Yes.
Boleh?
Yes.
Boleh. Based on what?
Not based on the contract, but based on the actual work itself, the injuring
Negligence.
negligence to the
Because the contractor's territory is bound by that body. So whatever outside the body is not legal.
Cannot. You answer, I like. I answer, I like. I'm coming closer there. Cannot sue. Why cannot sue?
Not regulated parking area.
Cannot sue, why? There's no privity of contract. There's no privity of contract. He cannot sue. There is no privity of contract between party C and party A. No contract. How can you sue? So, how does party C claim for damages? You use the right word just now. Negligence. Negligence is not part of contract. Okay? It's part of what's called tort. Tort means wrongdoing. Tort of negligence. You see, under tort of negligence, you can claim for damages, ganti rugi. And what is the way you claim ganti rugi? You bawa kereta, you akan ada apa? Road tax lagi? License. Okay, apart from license, insurance. You have to have insurance. So, you use the insurance to claim your damages against party A. So, this is not law of contract, it's called law of tort. So, there's a provision of insurance yang dimasukkan ke dalam contract, where this kind of issues happen, you use tort, law of tort, to claim your damages. So, very important concept. Remember, this third party claims comes under law of negligence or law of tort. So, very, very important concept. So, it's not, the accident can even happen within the construction boundary. It can happen within the construction boundary. Tapi the principle, the concept is different. The cause of action, you go to the lawyer, cause of action is different. One is under law, one is under contract, the other one is under tort.
Boleh cover under public safety.
Another tort will be defamation. Defamation. You defame somebody, the fellow got no contract against you, but you can still sue for defamation. You know, your maruah jatuh and all that, you can sue for claim for damages. Questions I think in fact, what is contract management? What is contract management? Don't worry, this is not basic. I'm just not going to basic. This is something that people ask. Actually, what is contract management? So I'll just skip this and show this. This is a contract management life cycle. Okay, it starts from bidding. Okay, the people from bidding now go here. Okay, bidding stage. You can call contract management board. Right up to close-up stage. Under close-up of warranty pun you can call contract management. So from bidding to close-up of warranty can be called contract management. Or from award until close-up pun you can consider as contract management. So what I'm saying is there are no hard and fast rules of the boundary of contract management. No hard and fast rules. It can be from inception, from bidding time, pun contract manager involved, pun ada. It can be until what I call switch off the lights. You switch off at light at the end of warranty period. You switch off the light, pun contract manager involved. So it can be from A to Z, ataupun from K, L, M to Z. That is the ambit of contract management. It's huge, yeah. It's huge. Some smaller companies make one person responsible from pre-award until close-up. But once you have big contracts, like gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you all are involved in huge contracts, billion-dollar contracts also. That billion-dollar, you have to separate the bidding part from your team and your execution part. Anybody ask you what is meant by contract management? You can say it from inception to close-up or from execution to close-up. Paham ya? Understand? Okay.
What about liabilities? Liability continues, right? For example, for professional engineers, the liability continues right after the close up.
That's correct. Yeah, thank you for that statement. Yeah, there are some that extends beyond this. There's what's called a professional liability. Like engineers are born under the registration of engineers in 1967, correct me if I'm wrong. 1967, they are bound for a lifetime. In fact, 99 years, I think. It's your design liability punya guarantee. No, that's how long. So, apart from project managers, you always blame the engineers. So, Yes. So there are some liabilities that extend beyond this. For example, copyright. Copyright. One of your copyright thing is being used by this company, and then the company finishes the contract. You can still go after the company because you have a copyright that runs past the contract period. Yes. Okay. This one I was saying very fast slides. We should answer some of your questions earlier. I said I'm coming to that. So here it is. Legal analysis of bidding process, especially for the people in bidding. This will be very interesting for you. I hope your bosses are also here watching this. For the execution people, you will also find this interesting because I noticed a lot of blaming takes place. The execution people blame the bidding people. The bidding people say, not my problem anymore. It happens. Okay? So just pay attention to this. When you see an advertisement to bid, to tender, okay, what is the legal impact of it? I will start off just to get your view. Okay, the legal effect of an advertisement to bid is basically there's no legal effect. Okay, obvious, okay? There's no legal effect because it's just a mere invitation. Anyone wants to bid for my job or not? That is it. Okay, logic. The second part is the tenderer submits the tender. Tenderer submits the tender. What is the legal impact of it? We were discussing that before the break. Tenderer submits the tender.
No legal effect.
No legal effect? Except the no scope. Your terminology is coming closer to that.
Actually, bound if accepted. If it's accepted. but
Tender
it's-
submits tender. Your company submits the tender.
So we are bound by the terms and conditions of it.
It's the tender, they have a validity also actually.
Sorry?
And then they have the validity, right?
Okay.
So we are submitting tender maybe the 30 days validity. So until the 30
Until
days is
then,
a bounded
it's
right.
still bound by what?
Still bounded right.
No. I think you're missing the point altogether.
The tenderer submit tender is an offer, not.
Yes, absolutely.
It's accepted.
That's a word. Correct.
That's
a word. That's a legal word. The tender who submits the tender is doing the offer. Excellent point. Excellent.
But what I'm trying to say, I'm talking about the title, legal effect. This offer with that no.
Remember, offer acceptance, intention, consideration.
Okay.
Those are legal.
Okay.
So submit the tender is basically the guy offering. He buys a cigarette, takes out his money, he's offering. The word tender, for information, comes from a Middle French word called tender. Tender means offer. Tender is a French word that means offer. In Middle French, that means medieval age French. So the remarks to that will be, offer must be clear. Okay, I'm offering you one apple. It's not like, I think I might offer you one apple. That, you must very clear, one apple. So now you see the flow. I want you all to quickly engage your critical mind. Employer issues a letter of intent. Okay, somebody mentioned a letter of intent immediately. What is the meaning of legal effect of letter of intent? I've already answered the question before tea break. I know you all were hungry just now. What is the legal effect of letter of intent? What was the... Ada kontrak tak? Ada kontrak tak? No contract. Very good. Okay. So there's no legal effect. Kan? Why is there no legal effect?
It's still an intent. It's not accepted.
Yes, correct. What's the word you use?
There's only intent.
Intent. Excellent. Did you use the same word? Did you say intent? Oh, okay. Correct. That's the word. It's just a mere expression of intent saja. I might marry you, but I may not. Macam tu lah. It's just an intent. Okay. In practice, some of the LOI has got very detailed thing. I will pay you X amount of money and all. It's very, very clear. That the court can interpret as a contract, depending on the wording. So just by declaring a letter of intent saja tidak cukup. The wording is also very important. But generally, a letter of intent is just intention sahaja. Now, the employer issues a letter of acceptance with no new material condition. Maksudnya, the offer and the bid, invitation to the bid, and the offer is the same. Now, the employer issues a letter of acceptance with no new material. What is the legal effect? Acceptance, which means there is a contract. Yeah? Because acceptance is a legal contract. So at the point offer acceptance match, contract is there. Senang, kan? Very, very straightforward. Good. We are very happy you're getting the hang of it. Now, contractor duly signs the letter of acceptance. Again, somebody asked me this question earlier before, right? I said I'll come to it now. Contractor signs letter of acceptance. What is the legal effect of it? Many bosses get this one wrong, and many, sorry to say, finance people I know also get it wrong. But of course, the legal department will not get it wrong. Contractor signs copy of LOA. What is the legal impact of it?
However accepted, he should have the capacity to deliver.
No. Contract, is it effective or not? Effective masa bila? Ini. Masa ini dah already accept the contract, already legally accepted. So when the contractor signs LOA, they sign LOA, many bosses get it wrong. I repeat this. It's just, yeah, I'm hearing the right words now. It's just a communication. Okay, I'm just telling you, thank you lah. Thank you very much, I got this letter lah. That's all it means in law actually. But of course, the other side, they say, hey, if you don't sign, if you don't send back your contract, I'll delete it or terminate. No. It's just communication.
Suara macam kat nikah kan?
Yes.
Kat nikah.
Well, I cannot agree.
When the imam say, okay, saya nikahkan whatever, then the guy say, terima.
Yes.
Terima means
Contract,
acceptance.
correct. That's what the contract.
And then after that, there is letter that he signed.
Yes. That's a formality.
Formality.
Correct. So, communication of LOA is only formality. So please, when you go back to your office, your bosses make big noise, your client make big noise, understand the basic. Yeah? This is the fundamental thing. It's only
So that means,
communication.
the effective moment of contract is when the employer issue the LOA.
Yes.
That is the effective moment.
Correct. LOA clause, that's when you're legally married.
So that means the recipient cannot say, hey, I have not signed that.
Too late. Too late.
Because LOA was based on the offer.
Offer. And must mention.
I see.
So understand that many people get it wrong.
Just many people keep kept on saying that, yeah, I got the LOA, but I haven't signed yet.
No, it doesn't work.
I remember your statement just now. Even through WhatsApp, except by WhatsApp, is actually
Okay, thank you for the question. The question here is acceptance through WhatsApp. Okay. The answer is acceptance of WhatsApp is it acceptable in court or not? It depends on the offer. If the offer says you may accept using electronic means that includes but not limited to WhatsApp, blah blah blah, then yes. Otherwise, if it says you have to submit this particular document signed by the authorized signatory of the company with the company seal, then no. So I hope that answers the question because the offer must be very clear exactly how you want the acceptance to be. So you cannot just accept. As marriage is concerned, divorce, I think nikah, WhatsApp boleh, I heard, but I won't comment on that further. Let's stick to construction contracts.
Yeah, just one more avoid when you do this land. Back to number 4. Okay, the employer issues in LOA with no additional or subtraction of the offer. Right? That is automatically binding, right? Relating to what example like Pascal just mentioned earlier, let's say you got the offer, but we start next year. So that means if there's no change in the offer, that means it's bound from now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm going to answer a question you should not ask yet. After. I know what I mean. Sorry, one more before I go on.
For this, if the employee issues a letter of acceptance and then he puts a clause saying that you must sign this within.
Okay, you've jumped, he's one slide ahead of me. I think somebody has leaked my slide. Somebody has definitely leaked my slide. Hey, how come? It's not in my notes, no? Well, it is in my notes, but I made it very small. You all are one step, one slide too fast. But good question, thank you so much. Okay. So, when contractor takes possession of the site, okay, that's why the commencement of the contract period, but there's a caveat, I'm just making a general statement. Some letter of acceptance will say when the contract period starts, okay? So I'm just making a general statement. This is not 100% right, but the previous are 100% right. Now, this is a question which I think you were going to ask today. Oh, sorry. In fact, you asked this question. Sorry, I'm very sorry. You asked this question. Now the employer puts a letter of acceptance with new material condition. Isn't that your question? Ken? You see, I know what you all will ask. Okay, so what's the answer?
It becomes an offer, counter offer.
Yes, absolutely. Brilliant. I like that word. It becomes a counter offer. So tadi, just now, sorry, are you Malaysian or? You're in the familiar. Oh, so you don't understand what tadi. Tadi means just now. Earlier, who was making the offer? The tenderer. The tenderer made the offer. Now, the employee gives a new material conditions. It's a counter offer. So, the employer is now giving the offer. The role is reversed. Correct? So it's very important for the people involved in bidding. If you realize that during the bid, the bidder has, the employer has introduced new terms and conditions, please discuss with your legal department and bring to your boss's knowledge. Because the bosses may not know what transpired between the bid and the award. A lot of things can be things under the table. You all think it's a very simple thing, but in reality, it's different. So very good answer. It's a counter offer. The position changes. Understand?
I have another question actually. What if the employee issues a letter of acceptance without any new conditions, but only adds a clause saying that this must be accepted within 5 days, otherwise it is void? Is that legally acceptable?
That's a tricky question. That's a very tricky question. My answer to that will be, it itself is a new condition subsequent to the bid.
What's the counter offer, is it?
It's not a counter offer, it's introducing new terms. It's not a condition of the bid. So the answer will be, I am not bound by it because it was not in your original bid. That will be my answer. But it's tricky. They try to push your arm by saying, hey, give another 2% discount.
Or within 5 days you need that.
It doesn't work, but yeah. So the counter offer destroys the original offer, then everything is the same. So you understand how the position changes because the person offers, suddenly you counter offer. So be careful, the bidding people and the legal people, please ensure your bosses know about all this. We come to the exam. Are you ready for exam? Okay. I prepared this. Thank you. Okay, please listen to this very carefully. You see, even the blue is like SPM paper. I go and make sure I pick the blue paper. It's just like SPM paper. I prepared this question at 2 a.m. about 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and I went through my coach. So just like Shirley, I got a personal coach. He went through question by question and format and all that, and he approved for me to actually distribute here. Thank you to him. His name is Alan. Now, please do not open the paper until you're instructed to do so. Do not belek. Don't write anything. You can write your name on the day. Okay? Do not.
Anyone else?
not open the paper. I also printed for the observers. Do not open the paper until you are instructed to do so. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's extra copy here. Okay, do not open the paper. Yes, it's very important. It's part of the activity actually. No big deal. Okay, so you read whatever is on the front page. Please do not open yet. Let's go along with the activity. And then, if you have finished, do not discuss with your partner next to you. Don't. Don't even smile, don't laugh, don't copy, no need. Okay, this is general questions. Prashant, sorry, I just want to know you're from India. A lot of the questions are Malaysia based. Okay. So if you're unable to answer them, I accept, I can understand. Okay, but the rest of the 14 plus observers, you should know, it's general knowledge. There are 50 questions, 50, I don't know what's in Hindi. 50 questions, they are all subjective, not objective. Only 2 or 3 questions are objective, you just write the answer. So, I haven't told you that the time is already given there. You have 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, everyone stops writing, and to make sure you stop writing, you just pass the paper to your right. Okay, so in the case of Vincent and Jyoti, you pass to each other. So that you don't pull back and say, I forgot. Okay, this is just for fun, but it's a big learning process. Okay, are you all ready to take this 5 minute exam?
Yes.
Louder please?
Yes.
Okay, you may start now, level monitor. You have 2 minutes more. Well, 30 seconds more. Vincent, you finished, Vincent? Okay. Oh, sorry, okay, Vincent.
Oh, it's it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, time is up. It's okay, you do not have to pass to another person because I noticed none of you have actually finished the smiling. Okay, so no need to pass. Okay, just keep it to yourself. Let me get some feedback first. What do you think about the exam? Anyone who has not spoken yet? In fact, all of you have spoken. Anyone wants to volunteer? What do you think about the exam? Okay, Naya, you spoken at least. Okay.
That is a legal question.
Legal question? A lot of general knowledge, okay. What about result? Any concentration? Did you find it okay? And what did you think? What was your opinion? Oh, that's general knowledge, okay.
Mostly general knowledge.
Mostly general knowledge. So, that's all the feedback. Did you all manage to finish? No, you all did not manage to finish. I see Vincent, you're smiling. Maybe you.
Don't count.
No, okay, sorry. Okay, good. So you all think it's general
I
knowledge
managed
question?
to finish, but I'm not ever answer all.
Okay. Very good question. Very good remark is made. Very good remark is made. He's not able to answer all. Now, did anywhere says answer all the questions? How you know you have to answer all the questions? Did I say that? No. Okay. Just turn back to the last page, please. Turn back to the last page, and can you please read my credentials at the bottom? Please read what is written at the bottom, my credentials. Can somebody read that out loud for me? Who's got a loud voice? Okay, Frank, can you please read that, please?
Answer questions 2, 6, 7, 11, 22,
Okay, so the instructions are very clear. It says specifically answer those questions only. And I purposely hid it in my credentials so that you think, "Alamak, this guy got too many degrees, including some numbers. Let's forget the numbers." Okay, so what is the lesson learned here? What do you learn from this activity?
You must read the small print.
Sorry? Yes, good answer. Thank you for that idea. Yeah, read the bigger picture first.
Read all this, read all the calculations, all this.
Absolutely. Any words like that? Any more?
Everything.
Read everything. Yes, you're right.
Focus on your scope.
Okay. Right? You must read the fine prints. Read, in contracts is so important. If you're into contracts, project management, in your company, legal, finance, any department, QA, QC, especially QA, QC, oh my God, the fine prints are terrible. QA, QC, all the documents. Please read the fine print. I'll come to a couple of slides on that alone. Number 2, listening to instructions. No, the instruction to the tenderer will be like this, like this, like this. You need to submit this format. You need to submit this many hard copies for contract closure. You need to submit this one, this company's, this document in soft copy, for example. All are instructions. So you need to follow instructions. Okay? In this case, do not open the booklet until you are advised to do so, instructed to do so. I notice all of you follow that, which is excellent. Following instructions. Another lesson learned is timekeeping. You have 5 minutes. I'm glad nobody asked for extension of time. Start with. So in contracts, have you all heard of the term times of the essence? Time is of the essence. Okay, time is very important. Read the contract and of course follow the instructions. So with this mindset, again, it's back to the critical thinking part of it. So some issues may be hidden here and there. So that is basically the learning curve of this particular activity. I'll just explain all this to you.
Can I add?
Sure.
I think we forget to ask clarification.
Good point.
We never force you to go on, to give more explanation, ask for clarification.
Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Excellent observation. Okay, very good. In real case scenario, when you receive a bid from a company, from Petronas or from Klang Valley, NTVE or ECRL, you're not very sure of the document, ask for clarification. It may be between life and death for your company. Thank you for that. Very good. Ask for clarification. Pause. Maybe your tender period also may be extended. So read the fine prints. That's the most important lesson of this exercise. Okay? It's hidden somewhere. This is a very famous case in 1932, a case between this lady called Mrs. Lestrange and a company called Groscott. This happened in 1932-31 in a town called Llandudno. Llandudno is in Wales. Llandudno, Wales. So what she did, she owned a pub and she ordered cigarette vending machines. So the 2 salesmen came and sold her a cigarette vending machine. And they said to her that, look, any problem here, we are not held liable for warranty. So anything on warranty issue is not our problem. And she signed on the contract. So these guys went back to their office and all hell broke loose. The machine spoiled. The cigarette vending machine spoiled. So she sued this company to claim for damages. So when she did that, the court at that time in the law, 1932, the court says you are bound by what you signed for. Okay? So therefore, you are not bound by warranty conditions at that time. So of course in UK they had another act called ACTA. Unfair Contract Terms Act, UCTA 1977. That came much later. But the law, the principle of the law says you are bound by what you signed for. So in your earlier question, an hour ago, you said somebody was dungu, stupid sign, you're bound by it. That is the basic thing. Unless you plead insanity, intoxication, coercion, or the voidable thing. Voidable thing is not easy to prove that you are mad or drunk, not easy. Unless you can prove that you are bound by what you signed. It's very, very important. So many people, your vendors, your suppliers, even your bosses will say, hey, I didn't agree to this one. Sorry, the law says otherwise. You are bound by what you signed. In my module 2, I will go deeper into this. Then you will say, how can my company do this? So you will come to that stage when we go into detailed contract process. But later, not now.
I think because of this, Petronas has actually changed, put a clause in their tender document saying that I've read and understand all the statement that was actually spelled out in the tender document. Then
Yes,
the company will sign.
Thank you. That's correct. It's one of the conditions there. And there's also one of the conditions in the contract clause that also says something like that. I will explain not now, later, in another module. And then there was this case. This is a very new case. This is a Malaysian case, by the way. I just came across this. In the year 2020, there was a case between our Malaysian company called Able Foods Sdn Bhd suing a New Zealand company called Open Country Dairy Sdn Bhd. What happened was, Open Country Dairy Sdn Bhd sent milk of unmerchantable quality. That's what this company, Able Foods Sdn Bhd, said. Thanks for making it. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good weekend. So they supplied milk powder that's unmerchantable quality. So what Able Foods said, sorry, I cannot accept it, and I need to sue the New Zealand company. The New Zealand company said, look, in my terms of trade, that means terms and conditions, the T&C, I've already told you that the conditions of contract, the court, the jurisdiction is in New Zealand. Although I sold you the product here, but you're bound by New Zealand law. So this Able Food went to High Court, and High Court agreed with Able Food. Yes, you're bound by the Malaysian conditions. This was overturned by Court of Appeal in Malaysia. They said no, because you have to open this link and open and see. It says clearly it is law of New Zealand. Go on. So can you see how important this is? This Malaysian law, baru lagi hot from the oven. So for the legal people, for the, I don't mean to pressurize legal people. I keep on saying, I'm very sorry. but you know where I'm getting at. QA/QC, anyone from QA/QC, a lot of your standard specification, etc., you come across this link. So at bid stage, you do not open and see what are the changes in terms of qualifications, etc., etc. If you don't alert your bidding team, you're creating a lot of problems for the company. Because every link has to be open. It's a Malaysian case law. This is a common law, okay? Court of Appeal. In terms of hierarchy, they are just below federal court. So that very powerful thing. So not only if you don't know what you're signing, even now the hyperlink, make sure you open and satisfy yourself. It's already Court of Appeal decision. Please, do not underestimate this, especially at bidding stage. At post-execution, at execution stage, suddenly the client issues you some document, I want you to do this, blah, blah, blah. Then you find that you open the link, hey, this is not what I bid for. So it becomes a new thing. So if you change order, your variation order, you can impose new terms because now the ball is in your court. Tapi yang dulu, cerita dulu masa bid itu, that stands. Whatever. Please be careful. Any hyperlink, do not underestimate. Macam yang kata soalan lagi lah. You know, answer only those small. So that is a lesson learned. Please be careful. In this also, just now I said, the group search. The group search. Another principle established was, one was the undue influence. The second is, the group told the court that whatever I sign in the first agreement, the first agreement I don't agree. The court says sorry. They actually said that. They have signed. Okay, court found them to be of sound mind. So I don't know, the sound mind. And there was no undue influence by Eric Yeo. And very simple statement, you're bound by what you sign. That is. But there was another part of the case they won, on the rights, something of the marketing rights, they got their money, compensation. But on these two legal points, they were not out. They signed, they said, you do not agree. Don't agree now, sign. So it doesn't make sense. So read the fine print, I have to say it 5 or 6 times because it's so important. Okay, I'll go very, very quickly before we come to our last exercise. Okay, now it's 12 o'clock. This is basically going through the stages of contract management. Just now, I told you contract and management is from, what are the 2 stages? You can interpret. Start from when? A bidding stage until close up, or from award stage until close up. Yeah? So we're just going to go through, just for your knowledge. When you do for the bidding people, when you do the bid document development, you're basically getting qualification from potential bidders and all that. So, if you're HSC, for example, or QAQC, you deal a lot with, you assist the legal department to finalizing, qualifying potential bidders for your job, to help you later. So that's what happens at bid stage. Pre-bid stage. And then during bid, that's when you submit your bid. That's normal. So between bid, pre-bid and bid, you need to go through a lot of exercise. Sometimes the clients, like Petronas, big clients, Bechtel, Chevron, ExxonMobil, all the big boys, they will ask, I want to see your subcontractors' backgrounds, your potential subcontractors' background. This is before award. Give me their background, their job experience. Sometimes they ask for paid-up capital, and then they want to see the list of projects. Because like American companies, if they see you have done projects in that time of Sudan, but now it will be North Korea, then you might file on this proposal side. So they're very, very particular. So it depends on your client. They have some preference, they have some no. So you may have to submit this to a client during bid, although the contract is not signed. So after that we go bid, and then there's a lot of bid clarification. Now here is a very, very important stage during bid clarification. Remember when we were running through the first slides on offer, acceptance and counter offer, during the clarification, how to say this? During the clarification, it actually amounts to a lot of offer, acceptance, offer, counter offer between the parties during bid. Okay? Because you're actually clarifying. So, you as a contract manager or a legal manager or a proposal manager, you must be very, very careful what actually you're going to eventually sign. Okay? Sometimes the client says, whatever we negotiated, whether it's WhatsApp, email, or minutes of meeting, take it out. I do not want to see this. I only want to see the final document before I give you LOA, letter of award or letter of acceptance. So, on the bidding side, you should be really careful to alert your finance people, your risk people, your bosses that, oh, all this can be taken out. Are we sure or not we want to go and sign this contract or submit this bid? You know? Because a lot of counter negotiations that goes on. Sometimes during bid, we ask for bid exemptions or deviation. Okay? Client said accepted. I said it's accepted. Make sure that document saying accepted is included in the contract. Okay, don't put it outside the contract because in law it is not valid anymore. You can only use it as a reference hajat, but in law it's no more, not valid lah. So make sure it's all included. So the big people are very, very important.
Sorry, sir. But what about if the client insisted that this exclusion be taken out, like you say? Basically, what I'm pointing at is arrogant client.
And what?
Arrogant client.
Yes, okay.
How do you handle it?
Okay, sadly, I admit it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. I can easily say, no, we exclude it, or we do not accept we do not proceed with the bid. I can easily say that, but in practice it doesn't happen. So many clients, arrogant clients, or powerful clients say, no, I want it out. I want it out. Okay. The important thing is we as employees alert our management that this is the situation. Let it be a management judgment call. Okay, do you agree that this is the price we are going because all this has now been taken out? If not, okay, you need to add whatever financial charges or whatever charges to actually mark up your bid amount to cushion the risk. So that is what happens in practice. So I've only come across 1 or 2 contracts that the client was so cooperative to allow us, I was working in Sapura at that time, same as Ananya, to actually include those minutes of meeting into the contract. So in the case of, and the client was Nippon Pipe. So if any dispute or what, we can use the minutes of meeting to show the intention, what happened during bid stage. So it was very good of that client to do so. So the best ideal situation is masukkan semua. Kalau tak boleh, tak boleh. Subsequently, in the year, I had problems with Petronas contract and some other clients. Very difficult. So, with clarification actually avoids disputes kemudian for your project. And then you know what? We all get bonus or something. At post-award, I will not go much into this because it's basically execution part. But when you sign a contract, there are a few things you need to submit to the client. Can you name some of them? Couple of them. When you sign performance bond, very good. Warranty bond, very good. Good. Any more?
Plan.
Sorry?
Method statements.
Method statement? No, it doesn't come at award. Method statement comes after, much later. Anything? Okay, warranty bond, performance bond, okay? Sorry? I had some word.
Insurance.
Yes, absolutely. Insurance, very, very important. Never start work without insurance being submitted or make sure insurance is covered. Never. Never start any work without insurance. Very, very important. You saw the example why. No privity of contract, but you know how you protect the risk. So the 3 documents, and then for big contracts, Petronas example, they ask for parent guarantee. They ask for parent guarantee. Then the actual contract management part or administration parts, these are run-of-the-mill things. I will not go detail into this. And then finally the close-out part. In reality, close-out means warranty management. That means the moment you get your oil and gas fabrication, you get your MCB, mechanical completion date, that's when your warranty starts, normally for 1 year. In the power business, warranty is also for 1 year. Sadly, that is a part. The project team goes and handle a different project. They're not bothered with it. That's the reality. And your bidding team handles a different project. They're concentrating on other things. So the poor contract manager is held alone trying to sort out these close-out issues. But he or she has to handle. Then the engineer also is engaged on another project or design from the company. So it's a very difficult thing, this close-out stage. But nevertheless, it's very, very important because you want to collect back your performance bond. You want to cancel your insurance that may be running. You want to block your liability of your company. That's why the contract manager switches off the light, as I mentioned earlier, switch off the light. So here, from contract management point of view, this is where the contract manager has to take it upon himself or herself and monitor this very closely. So overall, I showed this slide much earlier. This is the whole contract management side. Types of contracts, I do not want to go into detail this much because it's too theoretical, but have you all come across lump sum contracts? I'm sure you all have. Okay. Lump sum contract basically puts all the risk on who? Who carries the risk? Contractor, because they are POW. POW means package. He POW everything, so he takes all the risk. That's what's meant a lump sum contract. The other one is called cost plus contract. Who takes the risk?
Employer.
Client takes the risk because everything
Cost plus.
is cost plus. So in the first instance, if I am the contract manager, if I am the project manager, if I am the project director in a lump sum contract, the client asks me to jump, for example, jump. I will check my contract first. Excuse me, in my contract it doesn't say jump, it just asks me to walk. So I'm always conscious about contract because I got a lot of risk. Whereas in a cost plus contract and also a time and material contract, the client asks me to jump. I ask, hey, how high you want me to jump?
How many times?
How many times you want me to jump? How fast you want me to jump? Because the more I jump, the more I get money. So the attitude is different. Your focus as a project manager, contract manager, it is different. Your strategy also changes. So cost plus and time and material is about the same in terms of unit pricing contracts is what a lot of government departments do. JKR and all that use a lot of unit price. It's basically BQ. Here's where you engage a lot of contract vendor. QS, quantity surveyors to actually do a lot of quantities and free measurement and all that. So here is, you buat kerja, you bayar. You buat kerja, you bayar. So you take step by step kind of thing. So in terms of risk and technique, these are the basic four things. In oil and gas, some of you are from oil and gas, you will come across a lot of these terms. PC, PCC, TNI, EPC. Can any one of you say, tell what does PC mean?
Procurement construction.
Procurement and construction. What about EPC, IC?
Engineering, procurement,
Okay, what about the I?
Installation.
Installation. Yeah. C is commissioning. Okay, so engineering, procurement, construction, installation, and commissioning. What about TNI? Transportation and installation. This is normally for offshore. Okay, your scope of work carries from the jetty. The moment the structure crosses over onto your barge, you tie down. That's where your contract starts until you install.
there's also EPCM.
Or management, right? M for management. Okay. So, I don't quite like to categorize, but this is something I got it from the internet. Sometimes, engineering, project and procurement, that scope, they call it project management scope. Engineering and construction is design and build. Procurement and construction project services. They're not hard and fast rules, but people like to use this kind of categorization. You refer to another person, he's got a different type of categorization. But generally, you can just picture that how this is how it looks like. How people categorize it. So the names you talk about PNI, bill of BOT. What does BOT mean? Bill operate transfer. What about DB?
Design and build.
Design and build. Okay, does it matter? Then given the contract. Does it matter?
Yes.
Okay, why does it matter?
Different.
Scope. Exactly. So when I say, oh, my company is involved in a TNI contract, the listener will know, oh, okay, this guy does offshore. When I say, oh, my company is doing an EPC contract, I know you're in that particular scope. Small E. That means the big engineering done by Rankill, companies like that. But you're doing a EPCIC, then the company says, wow, these guys are big because they handle everything. So that gives you the scope and the strength of where you're coming from. The other thing I want you all to notice is a lot of things start with engineering. Okay? Design is also engineering. Transportation, TNI is also engineering because you have to get the right vessel, you have to make sure that the weight of the module going in is enough during high tide, low tide, there's enough water to do ballasting to make sure the vessel, the ship is in the right place so that the crossover can take place. A lot of calculation. Then the center of gravity of this you have to calculate. Once it goes here, what's the combined center of gravity? Otherwise the boat will sail like this to Panama, you get a problem. So a lot of engineering is involved and even TNI. So my point is engineering is very, very important, guys. It starts everything, EPC, everything is engineering. So if the engineering part of your turnkey element fails, your execution is going to fail badly. So please, in the bid stage, do not underestimate engineering issues. It's very, very important. You fail in the engineering, you fail in your project. Because we are the construction industry. Any questions? No, right? You all agree, right? Communication. I'll leave this to the next module. One of the things I just wanted to highlight at this point is very important to communicate rightly. And I'm very happy with all 15 of you. You're able to communicate, to articulate your thoughts very, very well. Because in contracts, that's exactly what is needed. With the client, with your subcon, with your supplier, with your procurement team, with your senior management, with everybody, your communication skills. So I do not intend this to be an English lesson, but sometimes it helps. It can be live and death. Okay, Alia, if I can choose you, can you just say this? How do you say this?
Let's say grandma.
Okay, what about this?
Let's eat grandma.
Correct. So one is, that's it, grandma, and one more, let's eat, grandma. Can you see the difference? Because of the comma, the first one you want to eat your grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay? Whereas the second one, you're inviting your grandmother to eat with you. Because of a comma. You can go through the internet and find out, in many cases, there's one comma that can determine a life or death of a person by any. There's a long sentence, but I didn't want to show it here because it might be enough of contract clauses. So this is a typical example. A comma can make a difference between life and death. That's the point I'm trying to make. I've used the word a lot this morning. You know, on the crane jatuh betul, I used the lot. I used the word damages. And you didn't notice I used the word with an S. Damages. Many people get this wrong. They say damage. There are two different meanings. I will just display it here, but don't concentrate too much. I will just say simple English. Sorry, I'll say it Malay first. Damage means kerosakan. Damage. Damage means something that is spoiled. Damages is a legal term. It means compensation. Damages means compensation. So when you seek damages for your damage, that is compensation. When something is spoiled, my car is damaged, I'm going to claim damages against the insurance or whatever. So please understand, unless you use in a present tense, smoking damages my health. I have to like that. That is a verb. That is a verb. I don't intend to be an English teacher, but I just want to help you from embarrassing yourselves in clients, especially the Masale clients, the Western clients, because English is their first language, it's not our first language. So, remember the difference between damage and damages. Damages is a legal term, damage is not. Other common mistakes made. People like to, in this part of the world, use the word equipment. In English language, there's no such word as equipments. Please, no. Present, singular ke plural ke is equipment sahaja. There is no S. Okay, please. If anybody says got S, please, I got my contact number, I send the contact number. But in one contract, ONGC India, ONGC is Oil and Natural Gas Corporation of India. They are basically the Petronas, our version of Petronas in India. In ONGC contract, under their definition, they use the word equipments, means blah blah blah. There, we had to use the word equipments because it's already defined in the contract. So no choice. Okay. Maybe they did not go for full English class. They only studied Form 4, I don't know. But the point is, in English language, there is no S. Yeah? It's only equipment. Please remember that. So when you write letters or email, do not put an S. Right? You all know the difference? Again, Malaysians tend to get it wrong. Asians tend to get it wrong.
Advice, verb.
Nouns and verb.
Okay, which is a verb?
C.
C. No, C is verb.
Advice, S.
S is the noun.
C is
CE is a verb.
C is
CE is the noun. S is the verb.
C is verb.
Yes, correct. SE is verb. CE is noun. So I'm advising, I gave advice to Aliyah. Is what, C or S? I gave advice to her. S or C? C, okay? Okay. She asked for my advice, it's also C. Okay. So, I advised her as verb and noun. So in your email and all that, make sure you get it right. So the client knows that, hey, this guy knows his language.
Legal advice is
Yeah. Legal advice is C. Is noun. Plants and machinery. There's no such thing as plants and machinery. No S. It's plant and machinery. Kalau banyak lori ke banyak kereta ke apa, it's just plant and machinery.
But maybe it was a landscaping contract once.
Here, it's or it's, even school teachers are getting it wrong, teaching our young children. IT apostrophe S means it is. Yeah? And it's carries a different meaning. So, why I'm saying this, it's very, very important. Sometimes even a comma can get you into trouble. So, in your communication with a client, a Marsale client, or you are a client from Solomon Island or New Zealand, or Brazil, they speak Portuguese, or Equatorial Guinea, they speak Spanish, then you are going to have problems because the common communication is in English. But if you don't get it right, problem. And we all are British colony and excuse. So what's our excuse? So emphasis on English, I cannot underestimate this. Okay, can we come to the last part of this activity? And then we can close for the day. This 12:24, just okay, we went through everything today on fundamentals of contracts, from definition to how to define contract management, reading the final print, and spotting, where the construction errors, how to actually prevent, etc., etc. Now we come to the last part, where I want you all to actually share your experience in your groups, within your groups, to just list down where it says here very clearly. List how and why cost overruns occur in construction projects. Okay, you can list about just 10 or 15. Okay, have a discussion among yourself. Can you distribute the paper here? Major paper, so you got a pen. Discuss among yourselves, and then we want each group to present. Very fast, very, very fast. Before that, can we elect a group leader? Can we elect a group leader for each paper? Okay, this is how we elect a group leader. Wait for Anand. We will elect each of the group leader. So very fast. I want you all to brainstorm and then write what are the causes of cost overruns. And then after each sentence, I want you all to write pre or post. Is it pre-award issue or post-award issue? I want you all to identify. Very simple exercise. But because of your experience and all that, it will be very fast. It will be very fast. So, okay, let's elect your respective team leader. And this is how you do it. Okay, this is how you do it. But just observe me. Just observe me. Let's say in my mind I want to nominate Alia as my team leader. So I close my eyes and just put my finger up like this. And then I say, okay, nominate your team leader, then I point to Alia. So she's my team leader. So there's no coercion or undue influence. Okay, nobody knows who you're going to vote. Just think like that, okay? And that's how you choose your own team leader. Okay, can we do that? Okay, close your eyes and point your fingers up, please. And I don't know whether I can point to Anand or not. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, choose your team leader, please. Very clear. Very clear. Here, very clear. Over there? Over is a time. Oh, that's right. Here's very clear. Here's very clear. Okay, so we have 3 team leaders, okay? Dr. Vincent, right here, and now team leaders, okay? Now team leaders. Now you can nominate who you want to be a secretary. Yeah, who would be the secretary? Who to write all this? Your judgment. Okay, you can nominate somebody to write because you're going to brainstorm and write reason for cost overruns, and that is pre or post. Okay, so please nominate somebody to write. Okay, you have your marker pens on your table. Use the marker pen. Kalau boleh use 2 colors. 2 colors. One for the issue, one pre-post. After you do this, each team comes up and presents. Each team comes and presents. Each team comes and presents, whether pre or post. We want all the other people to say, oh, okay, you got it right, you got it right. So we will see some overlaps definitely because all of you have experience. Understand? Okay. You have just 10 minutes. Now it's 12:20. Maybe I'll give 15 minutes. Is it okay? Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. And use marker pen, please. Because we're going to present it. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry, small pen. Only 15 minutes. Another color, pre or post. So they can just post, pre or post.
You should take the right.
So who has been nominated to actually right now? Oh,
Okay, so what are the potential
Price
experience,
let's focus on the
Cannot see. Yeah, later when they come in front, I saw.
Are you all more or less ready to present? Your group is ready, right? Who's going to present from your group? The leader will appoint. Leader will appoint the group. Leader appoint. You can appoint yourself, so don't appoint yourself.
Ada gurau ni.
Okay, shall we have attention please? The first presenter, first group is going to present.
Okay. Right. Okay. Hi to all. Good morning. Good morning. Right. We go over fast. Yes, please contract. These are the sum of wrong understanding of the scope, complicated engineering, lot of assumptions, unclear, incomplete documentation, wrong estimation, incomplete of personnel. Straightforward information. Post-contract, COT, extended time, delay from preceding activities, deviation of scope, cost price acceleration, environmental causes, poor planning is leading to disaster. Very important fact, incompetency of personnel. There is more incompetency of contractors, how we connected. Errors of construction, this will be another area. Poor communication will kill the whole team. Too many subcontractors, the major one. If you don't have, you are running into major lack of funding. Thank you.
I don't quite agree with number one.
Huh?
I don't quite agree with
You
number
don't have to. Because what I'm saying is this is what lawyers are all about.
But what I'm saying, when people
You just screw around.
your cost overrun due to COT. For me, it's not right because when you've got COT, definitely there will be a cost can be claimed.
As what we said earlier, it's all what is in the contract. You agree to it, you stick to it. Otherwise, you are always given 14 days. Anything that you don't agree, you come back to it, you remain silent, so you follow it.
That one is not.
You were given 14 days,
It's not
clearly
the
saying
that one
that.
is you delay. That's why.
We didn't delay.
But you
No,
mentioned.
we didn't delay. We gave you enough time and told you anything that you
mean
want
is
to
that
do.
any extension of contract,
Yes.
extension of time, there are cost implication
Yeah.
and no cost implication. So in this case, it is cost implication.
So we gave you sufficient time. Read in between the
Even
lines.
though extension of time is approved, but there is cost implication.
I think, sorry, extension term, it depends on who caused the delay.
Yeah, yeah.
If the delay from the client, then.
That will dispute in court, if you understand. You don't agree. You don't have to agree.
Next.
Any more questions? What do you mean by poor planning?
Everyone
Planning to get the resources on time. If it's not properly arranged, then it will get delayed and there will be additional cost involved.
So is it a post issue or pre issue?
It's post while during the execution stage.
So any from this list, do you all think that should be in this list? That's what I'm getting at. Or vice versa? Okay, as extension of time, I have to agree with these two gentlemen. Under the circumstance, you know, it could be cost overrun at execution stage. How contract is formed. Could be.
But we agree with you, it can be the other way around.
Yeah.
Human error.
The indirect cost could be from pre-contract. The direct could be in the post-contract. For example, co-planning, right?
Okay, the last one, lack of funding. Shouldn't that already be established before the award?
I agree with you, but normally the contractor always tells you, we have lots of money. But when they start the job, then you find out along the way they have no money.
I meant
So you agree?
And sometimes subcontractor rely on main contractor to give the money.
So isn't that a pre-award issue? Because as you line up your subcontractors, you will do your cash flow, projected cash flow. Okay, there will be no escalation clause. Okay, so you're already aware that there could be a cost, whatever.
Right, Mr. Rodius, we agree with what you say, but no due diligence was done here. If you had done a due diligence here, this would not have happened.
Correct. So shouldn't this be like what Jenny said, part of a pre-contract? I don't know. I'm just asking this. Just trying.
Personally, based on experience, is during construction. Once you award the contractor, you award the subcontractor, they said, can you give us some money? Advance money, you know?
But that's a cash flow issue rather than a P&L issue, isn't it?
Cash flow, like funding, plus cash flow issue.
So you're saying
Must not cost overrun lah.
Sometimes the banks, once you got a PO, you want to go to the bank for loans, and the bank will take some time. They will move.
so. Does that affect the cost overrun on the project?
or late start or late procurement.
Okay, but here it's on a.
Your BG as well. Some people may don't have enough money for BG. They ask for loan.
So it's not a pre-contract issue. It's a post-contract.
Post-contract.
Sometimes the work stop work because due of the material.
But as what Dr. Lisa mentioned, that deficiency was not transparently communicated with the client before the award. Because before the award, everybody claimed that capital, no problem, blah blah blah.
And also, there's also another issue here, the hidden issue here. Sometimes someone has a preferred contractor. So that also will cause a complication.
But the discussion is for the contract, which is, the company got the award and run through possible. That one is award issue.
Okay, any more questions?
I surrender quickly.
Thank you very much.
No, actually, my apology.
There's no right or wrong answer. Okay. Can you call the next?
We argue for the sake of clear understanding.
But it's a good brainstorm. Next group.
We want Dr. J to present. Dr. J, you continue to present.
So we have opportunity to be rising star.
Jadi kalau exam
knowledge and constraint, time constraint, right? Work complexity and skill. Also one. Number one, work construction planning. Second, the execution. Third, work coordination. Fourth, inexperienced personnel, subparts. Fifth, work competence. Sixth, non-compliance to step and regulatory requirements. 7. Wastages, work in table drop. 8. Accidents mitigation. 9. The hitch. 10. Price escalation. And that's the cost control exercise.
Thank you very much. Very different issues from the first group. Very different issues from the first group. Which is good. Number 5.
Extending the scope
So, generally looking at your overall factors, your pre is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? These are all post. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 versus 11. Right? What about your group? 6 versus 11. So here 5 versus 11, yours 6 versus 11. Okay, and any questions where you feel it should be categorized in the other part?
Simple English.
We decided to
Left or right?
for the post of water during
Right execution.
they should be the water. They should have their own but execution or project execution plan we should submit during the
It should be from compliance perspective. It should be
Right, execution for number 2 means that all the physical works,
yeah.
not on the paper.
It's a construction method.
I have one question here. For construction planning, isn't it done at pre-award stage?
construction planning is.
Okay, there are two types of planning. Project planning and construction planning. Construction planning includes what kind of machines we must have inside, what kind of skill levels that we must have. So these are normally either overlooked or we look at the last minute, not timely enough. So that's what these were inside.
I personally disagree. That's my personal opinion. There's no right or wrong answers. Because I feel anything to do with construction sequence, planning, equipment, resource planning and all that takes place at the big stage where you work with your resources team to see, hey, look, how many people will get on board, what are the equipment. So you do your pricing at that stage and then you wait for the job. The execution part is like what you say, when you have a PE